2, 1.
Welcome to the podcast that buffs your Hearthstone game. This is Velen's Chosen.
Not all who wander are lost.
What's up, visionaries? Welcome to Velen's Chosen. That's it. That's all you're getting this week. I did enough of my duties of being the speed running intro king of Hearthstone podcast this last 2 weeks, so I'll give it up so that Hat can have a chance this coming week. Whether you guys are competitive players, you're arena specialists, you want to learn a little bit more about being a deck building visionary, you just want to have some fun and be the Timmy like the rest of us, we can help you build and buff your game and help you achieve some Hearthstone goals. My name's Rob, coming in from the Rising Sun on April 7th, but it is currently April 6th in the United States for Grant Gould, a.k.a. The Watchman in Texas, and the Canadian Eve Martin in way out in southern Vancouver area in the Columbia.
Nice
right?
try.
Not in Vancouver itself, not in the city of Vancouver, but nearby. Close enough to be dangerous.
Suburbs. In the suburbs, Eve.
You're speaking to us from the future, Rob. How's it like in the future?
It has a little bit
Never
less
thought
sleep
of that.
than the day before.
Do you have the expansion yet where you are?
No, I get the expansion later than you guys do because of being in
True
the future.
How
story.
is that possible?
Because I'm
That
in the
doesn't
You
make
future.
have to wait
sense
an
at all.
extra
It doesn't
day.
happen. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. Anyways,
I
this
can't
week,
wait
guys,
for
we
it to
got
get here already.
the most full show of the year coming up next week, actually. So we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with the cards. We're talking about basically letting all of the 53 cards that are remaining. Technically, it'll be 52 at the end of the show because we will get a card release mid-show and potentially more. But just saying, there will be a card reveal, and it will be a legendary, so we'll have to talk about it.
And it's
Yeah.
a really cool one too, right? It's the mage.
Yes, it
Arugal?
will be Archmage Arugal. Legendary
Yeah,
mage
the one who
minion.
released the Worgen from the Emerald Dream.
And the reason
you
we know it will
remember.
be a mage is because we're the lore experts here, because we have the lore
Oh, yeah.
master. And we also have
You're
all
a
of the
mage.
neutrals, so it's hard to have an archmage in anything else other than the neutrals in the mage class. So it's pretty easy to deduce given all of the factors. But I think we're going to jump into more weeks with, or more cards in the final, or the final week of card review season, because our next card reviews will literally be on the end of the card launch based cycle, because the cards will be launched. There'll be a live stream coming up on the 10th. Is that correct, Eve? Or is it the 9th as the live stream?
I don't know. Do we have it in the show notes?
I had it in the Discord, but I can't check it because I'm doing
The one,
live
it's
stream.
going to be Ben Brode and Day 9. So I am super excited for that. They
Those
are
are the
a
best.
really
Those are
good
the best.
combination.
Bro
Like,
9.
D9 is always so funny, and Ben Brode's laugh. I mean, match made in heaven. I'm looking forward to it.
It will be the best.
Yes. It'll be good.
Oh yeah.
That being said, there is a launch date for the official day of Witchwood. Grant, do you have that handy?
Yeah, that's April 12th. That
12th
was announced today.
with an F.
12th.
12.
Yeah. 12th.
This is an audio podcast.
Allow me to use my really good diction skills. 12th. So,
It's a hard one to say.
yeah, it's the 12th. So,
It's the 12th.
So now we
I-
know. We know.
knowing is almost worse than not knowing. I almost wish they would just spring it on us, be like, "Hey, you get cards today." I do. Random Christmas. I don't know. But
Then you'd have all the
Because-
people that would go
Countdown.
rushing to Reddit, be like, "I didn't know. I needed to buy the pre-order."
I was
Oh,
waiting on a
that's
check
true.
from a person that owed me money. Screw you, Blizzard. Blah.
Yeah. So if you're that kind of person, please listen to the show and know that the expansion is on
Go
the 12th,
buy
and
your
you need to go
pre-order.
buy your freaking pre-order.
And
Although
I need to say thank you to the patrons because I would not have been able to afford it without you guys. So thank
Yeah.
you so much, each and every one of you that donate to our patron.
absolutely.
Totally.
I got
Totally.
the pre-order.
Yep.
Thank you.
Ditto.
All of us have the pre-order now, and we are none the wiser, or 100% the wiser. I'm not sure yet. But the Witchwood thing, I did talk with Ivan, actually. I had a good conversation with him because he has an older phone that runs Hearthstone and recommended to me that we should mention this, that if you have an older phone or iPad or tablet device, that you should wait until we get the patch and read the very bottom of the patch to make sure you can play it on your mobile device. Otherwise, when you patch, you will no longer be able to play it on your device any longer because there's a certain baseline that you have to play.
Yeah, but
Ooh.
do you really want to stop playing Hearthstone?
It doesn't mean you stop playing
either
Hearthstone.
way,
It just means you don't buy the pre-order until your phone can run the game. Because if you don't buy the pre-order and the patch launches, then you can still play in the previous patch, from what I understand. I can't remember how it works, all the ins and outs of that, but just keep that in line when you're
no, you're not going to
playing
be able
this.
to play. Like, they won't let you
Well,
play
they
if
roll
you
out
don't
the
download
iOS
the patch.
updates a little bit later, so you can play it a couple more hours later than the actual patch for PC, whereas the patch for PC doesn't give you the option. It'll lock you out until you get patched. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And don't patch your... Also, that means that you don't want to patch your PC before you jump back on your phone, because if you patch the PC and you log in, then it'll lock you out of your phone until you patch. And if you can't patch your phone because it won't let you
that's
play,
happened to
then you
me
don't get to play.
before.
Yeah.
And then the iOS update isn't available yet, so you just can't play.
Or worse,
That sucks.
iOS sucks enough because you can't have a 150 megabyte thing larger than 150 megs as an update or an app download when you're on anything besides Wi-Fi. So I've been locked out of at least 4 patches while I was at work that they've patched the game because I didn't download it when I was home on Wi-Fi. And I had to wait the entire cycle of the day to go home and get it. So for what it's worth, that is a major issue that may or may not be in their hands, but it's definitely a big stupid thing that if you have an Android, then you don't have to worry about. But
You big stupid thing, you.
big stupid apples. I want a pair.
Okay, we've been complaining a lot. Let's move on.
Let's talk about fun things. Let's talk
go to
about the Year of the Raven Brawl.
Brawl?
Eve.
Yeah, so it's called Blessing of the Raven. It's a pre-made one, so you choose a class and go and get a pre-made deck. And at the beginning, the Raven comes and tells you, the Innkeeper comes and tells you that the Raven is going to bless your cards in your deck, and each minion that you cast is going to have a random ability. What are the different ones? There's Lifesteal, Charge, Wind Fury, Poison, and Stealth.
Yep.
And that just like changes things so incredibly.
Getting
I got a
charged
whole
is
I got a whole bunch of 0 attack minions with charge. I'm like,
awesome.
well, this is super helpful. Great. Thank you. So it's completely random. It's not like this will make sense on the thing that it gets on it. But also have won quite a few games where like I'm just going to throw this huge minion down and hope it gets charge. And it does. And you win.
My opponent was really happy emoting me by getting Wind Fury on pretty much every minion he played. But then he cried because I got a flesh-eating ghoul with charge. So sucks to be you, buddy. Flesh-eating ghoul is the 3-mana 2/3 that every time a minion dies on either side, it gets 1 attack. And I just kept trading all my minions into his minions and kept punching him in the dome. Thing was like it was an 11-3 by the end of the day. It was great. I hit him in the face with it 3 times. He was not a happy camper. So anyways,
I actually played a lot of this Tavern Brawl. I played quite a bit. I
really
actually kind of liked it. Yeah, but I was trying to clear quests with it because my goal is to get 8,000 gold before the expansion drops. So I'm really close.
5,000 more than I have.
Where
currently.
are you right now?
I have set like 7,700 some. So
wow.
That's
yeah,
very
I started grinding in December. I was done buying packs in December, so I've been doing it for a while. But yeah, it was fun. I thought the decks were weird because I'd be look at these cards like these are crap cards, but then they get poisoned. Like, oh, it's fine. We're good.
Yeah, I got poison and charge, and that was pretty much it. It was great.
Yeah. GG.
I loved getting I loved it when my opponent got Wax Elemental on the board with Wind Fury, and I just cackled a little bit. It was the best.
That's the 0/1 with
0/2
Divine
with
Shield?
Taunt Divine Shield.
It's
a 1-mana card.
Yeah.
It was the best. And he top
Just
decked
got
it
like
in the
whirling
endgame.
animation, but it can't do anything.
Top decking is 0.
The other thing that you do is you get the it's like the 0/7 from Warrior that has taunt.
Yeah,
Something-
the Public
Oh, yeah.
Defender.
Public Defender. that has
Yeah.
poisonous, and you're like,
Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. What's wrong with this card?
All right, next up we have one of the best things that Hearthstone's announced in a while. There's a patch coming designed to make it easier for Brian Kibler to tell when a card has a yellow glow, aka Mike Danae. So it's funny
Nice.
because he's making fun of Brian Kibler directly, but Brian Kibler has been one of the largest voices in the community that's been advocating and pestering the ever-living snot out of Blizzard to actually have some non-terrible colorblind mode that is actively either in the game and always colorblind, or a feature of the game in the settings that you can activate. So there's a Reddit post in the show if you want to go check that out. And this is actually a huge issue, and not just this game, but in literally every Blizzard title, they have very much struggled for colorblindness in the past.
In World of Warcraft, there's like an entire thing of settings for colorblind mode. So
There is an Overwatch 2 that doesn't make it good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's
See, that's
there's
something I
definitely
can't speak
gradation
to. I
in
don't
the
know
s-
whether
in the
like it's
quality.
actually good. I just know when you go into settings, there's like all of these options where you
Mhm.
can change colors and change. So I assumed that was good.
Yeah. Giving everyone all the bells
I
and
can't
whistles
test
doesn't make
it.
something great. It just makes it like able to be interacted with. That's about it. So
Well, yeah, somebody watching the stream just basically called out either in Reddit or Twitter and said, it's really bright. Like, did you change the settings of the green glow and the yellow glow around cards when they're active? And they were like, yes. So that's coming for us in an upcoming patch to make it easier for people to tell when a card is like, you
I
can play
wanted-
this, its abilities active, that sort of thing.
I wanted to mention this too, Eve, because you know how when you play a card that has charge on the board and it like highlights the card as green and like has that little
Right.
like effect when it hits the board, it says
Mhm.
like it makes a sound feedback as well as
Yeah.
a visual feedback so that you can charge immediately. It's highlighted as if you can attack. Well, have you noticed what the rush thing has?
Is it red?
The rush has a green glow, does the exact same identical effect, but has like these little like filigree leaves around the cards. So if it has rush, you can see a very different graphic. That's very subtle. It's there, but if you go back and watch the
I'm going to have to check that out.
Militia
I missed
Commander,
that.
is that
Hmm.
right? Or command the Warrior 2/5 that has +3 attack and rush when it's a battle cry.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The,
Militia
the
Commander, I
the
think is the
monocle.
name of the card.
Monocle.
Yeah, it's the woman with the
And the
French
rapier or
blade,
whatever that sort of
rapier.
is.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that card has the rush mechanic. If you want to go check it out, you can look at that. But we need to keep going. We have a lot of Witchwood cards, so it's time.
Hiya.
Folks, it's time. Let me hit the stream card reviews.
I was
All
going
right,
to say, are we going to ask what everybody's playing this week, or are we just going to skip past that?
we don't have any time for that business.
It's okay.
All
Nobody
right,
cares
all
because
right.
we're all
We are
playing
playing
the same
a dying
3 or 4
meta
decks.
because it's going to be shifting. Synopsis ended.
Right, true
Okay.
that.
First card, Cathedral Gargoyle, 2 mana, epic, paladin minion. Battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, gain taunt and divine shield, and it is 2 mana, 2 attack, 2 health. 2 mana, 2/2. If you have a dragon, it becomes a 2 mana, 2/2 with divine shield and taunt. This card is real cool.
It
Grant,
becomes a shielded mini bot with taunt.
So
I
mini
think-
bot mixed with righteous protector, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an awesome card if you're running a dragon deck. Like if Paladin dragon deck is a thing that you do, which
Do
I think
have
we've
enough
all kind of
cards
wanted, right?
coming? Like,
We
do
don't
we have
know.
enough that we still haven't seen that if like every single one was revealed was a dragon?
I think
I
in
think we
Wild
only
this
need,
card
like,
could
3.
be busted.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, in
'Cause I
Wild,
want
they were
this to be a
talking
thing,
about
right?
this on the stuff that I was watching. People are really excited about this in Wild because you do have a 5 mana dragon that discounts it, right? You still have that one. You have
Yeah.
cards that interact with Dragon Synergy on 5. This card is fine if you get it out of the most broken guard in Paladin and arguably in the game, Call to Arms, because it's still 2 mana 2/2. You're not unhappy by getting that.
Yeah,
The stat line, it's
still
fine.
good. Yeah.
And in
Yeah,
addition
worst
to
case
that,
scenario, it's vanilla.
and in addition to that, I was talking with Hat, and we're like, I wonder if you're going to actually see people playing a lot of Fairy Dragon, because Fairy Dragon is quite fine.
Yeah.
Fairy Dragon
True.
costs 2 as well, right?
2 mana 3/2, so you can get that out of the Call to Arms as well.
Yeah. that's good.
So I think this card's great. Any other comments from the Paladin player?
Well, it just gave me hope. I was like, are we going to see more dragons? Please let us
Is there
actually
any
make
hope?
this into an archetype. But this is the beginning of the year. which means that over the 3 expansions, they could add dragons incrementally. Like, I want them all now. I want the Dragon Paladin now. But it could just be like over time in the other expansions, they're planning on adding more. And then by the time we get to the end, we have a Paladin deck. So
that's going to be the general consensus with every card of this set, because this is the first set of the year for 2 years.
Yeah.
So every time you have the first set of the year, that means that that set is going to be around longer than any other set in that standard rotation, because they're going to have the most life cycle, which also means that the first power levels that you're going to be seeing out of the first set of the year will be, generally speaking, again, I have to really hold back a lot of this because it's not always true, but generally speaking, the majority of the set has a lot of like average cards that tend to be iterated on later on. Sure. And will be even more powerful the longer the cycle goes because they're in the set longer. And they have more design space to create things around them if they don't get the love that they were hoping. Moving forward, Woodcutter's Axe. I'm going to talk about this one because it is a warrior card that I am very excited for. Woodcutter's Axe is a 2-mana weapon for warriors that is a 2/2 common card. And it says, Death Rattle, give +2/+1 to a random friendly minion that has Rush. Dang.
Which has to be on the board already. It's not like in your hand. You have to have the minion out in play.
Right.
This is a card that is not going to be seeing play in your Odd Warriors, and I think that is on purpose because it is 2 mana, and it is an excellent weapon. If you've seen anything, even if you don't get the value out of the Death Rattle, it's still good for the same reasons and the same principles of the 3 mana 3/2 weapon Rallying Blade that buffs your Divine Shield minions for Paladin. Granted, it's 1 turn later with 1 more attack, but it still hits the curve right in line with how Paladin hits stuff. This card is going to hit the curve, and then on turn 4, if you play... What was the card we were talking about? Oh, yeah, Militia Commander on 4. That card becomes a 4/6 with a 1-turn buff of plus more attack, so then it becomes a... Or plus 3 attack, sorry, so that'll become a 6/6 minion, and you can trade with this card on the same turn. So you have, like... a card that has Rush, and then you can hit something on top of that before you hit the Rush card. So this is a very elegantly designed card. Very, very balanced. Very favorable for tempo warriors. It's also pretty decent for non-tempo warriors. If you'd like to run this in a more mid-range, non-tempo oriented warrior, like a value mid-range warrior, I think you can maybe even swing that. Rush is going to be pushing it more towards the tempo orientation. But Grant, what do you think?
I was just thinking that it's kind of cool because it gives you kind of like the ability to buff without it being even necessarily like usable on its absolute first turn. So it gives a perma buff to maybe what if a rush minion sticks, then it can go face. You know what I mean? And that kind of a thing. So that'd be pretty cool. So like, yeah, let's say Militia Commander doesn't die, and then you use up your axe, and then it'll buff that card. And so now you have a more powerful minion running face. So it acts as like just a perma buff.
And a lot of people they don't give as much health as they do attack.
True.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
So it's removable, and so it makes the cards from becoming kind of like what war leaders used to do, where you buff the health and the attack, and they just get where you can't do anything to them, you know. But so I think that card is yes. So, and if any of your rush minions stick, which they could, this card makes them very strong, and I think it can end games. I was trying to decide if this is a control card or aggro card, and I think Rob's more right, and it's probably more of a tempo card.
Mid-range, that's what I was thinking.
The other thing, too, if you think about Darius Crowley, on 4, you play it and you remove something, and then you can use your Woodcutter's Axe, and you can actually like hit the face with the Woodcutter's Axe and break it, and then give your Darius Crowley basically becomes a 6/5, and you can kill something, and let's say you kill something that has 4 attack, so you go down to a 6/1, and then Crowley kills it, and then it becomes an 8/3 because of its buff mechanic. And additionally, I wanted to resurface 2 more things. The first thing, I don't think this is something you want to try because I don't think it will work this way, but there is a card in Knights of the Frozen Throne. I want to say it's like Scourge Forge, like Eater or something like that. It's an epic card that destroys all of the weapons in your hand and gains attack and health for each weapon that you destroy. I think it's like +2/+2.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly certain that this card's Death Rattle will not proc if it's in your hand unless it's in play.
Right.
But
Death Rattle's only
it
proc
is
when they're
a
in
very
play.
cool idea that I would love to see Blizzard work on. If that makes sense. Like
Destroying
if this
your own weapons.
Yeah, like if you destroyed the weapon, you had a rush minion on play, you destroyed your weapon. It's not a great idea. I mean, even if it did happen, it's still not that powerful. But it is a very cool like mechanic that you can do, like destroying cards in your hand, getting a buff on a minion, and then if a card in your hand has a benefit of being destroyed from the hand or discarded, then it could benefit that way. That could be very cool.
Wasn't there one that just got buffed every time a weapon got destroyed? Is that the same one you're talking about, or is it a different one? You'd like hold it in your hand, and then every time a weapon got destroyed, it would get bigger.
I know what card you're talking about. I can't think of what its
I do
name
know
is.
what you're talking about. I
Okay.
can't remember the name of the card though. But I think we can
It's
keep
one of
going.
the unsung cards. Yeah, we got
Yeah,
it.
good idea. Let's go.
The last part about the card that I'll mention is that the card that says give +2/+1 to a random friendly rush minion doesn't mean that the minion has to be played with rush that turn. If the card says rush on it, you can give the buff to the card like the next
That's
turn.
what I was saying earlier. That's what I was saying
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah. That's where Grant blew my mind because I was thinking a 6-attack minion, but you can't go face with it. And then I was like, wait a minute. If it's already been around for one turn, yes, you can go face with it.
Mhm.
So
And it's
awesome.
great because there's another card we'll talk about later called the Town Crier that really helps with this. Grant, why don't you talk
Go.
about Arsenal? It's the other warrior card.
Deadly Arsenal. 6 mana epic warrior spell. Reads reveal a weapon from your deck and deal its attack to all minions. Hey, maybe a Woe Cleaver could actually be good now. Deal 8 or what is it?
Don't hold
3
your
attack. I don't know. Maybe not. That was me just being facetious. But
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. It's just more possible removal. Because warrior decks almost always have weapons in them.
Yeah.
It's just revealing it. So if you only have one weapon in your deck, it's going to reveal it. So you can kind of bank on what kind of removal you're having. That's pretty cool.
It reminds me of the mage spell, right? Dragon.
Like Dragon's Breath, yeah.
Right,
It's also
Dragon's
Dragon's
Breath. Yeah. It's like
So
and that
yeah.
sees a lot of play. Well, the thing that I was thinking of is that warriors don't have a whole ton of removal. Like they have single target removal, but they don't have a whole lot of board except for
their
brawl.
AoE removal is a little weak.
Yeah.
I hope you
it's
didn't
like
dust your
whirlwind.
Gorehowls, boys.
No, I still got my
Um,
Gorehowl. That would be Gorehowl would be busted in that deck.
Heyo.
I see this card because of Gorehowl, because Gorehowl used to be a staple in
And
Control Warrior.
Yeah.
So
it was.
I could see that being pretty good, pretty strong.
Keep in mind, this is an even costed card. You will not be seeing this in your crazy odd costed quest warrior control things that you guys want to run around shenanigans with. So in the deck that really wants this card that has the tank up ability, can't run it. So
Could be a new deck. We haven't.
I
seen
I
before. We
love the
haven't thought
card
of yet.
though. The card art is freaking tastic. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It reminds me of a character in Rurouni Kenshin where this guy has like a sword collector. It's pretty dope. All right, let's keep going. Eve, I'm going to punish you this week by talking about
Duskfallen
Duskfallen Aviana.
I thought it was Avian. I didn't think it was Aviana. I thought it was Avian.
No, it was.
It
yeah,
was
it was
originally.
It was a
It was a misprint.
It was a leaked card.
misinterpretation.
Oh.
Because they were translating it from a different language. So
And it
yeah,
was
they got
leaked.
it wrong.
Yeah.
Duskfallen Aviana, because
Got it.
it's a legendary, it's got to have a name, and so this is like transformed Aviana. This is like twisted by the
It's a
Witchwood Aviana,
Duskfallen
I guess.
Aviana.
Yeah,
She's in
so-
the fall mode,
she's brown.
Emerald Nightmare?
I mean, technically, Aviana's dead, so
Spoilers.
I don't know.
Dang,
Sorry.
Eve.
My bad.
Maybe she's a revenant. She's a
Just
revenant
kidding.
version of Aviana.
Well, here's the thing, right? Old gods never really die, and wild gods never really die. So even though Blizzard continually kills them off and we mourn them, they're still kind of like in the Emerald Dream.
So if
and
your
they're
god, the only condition of being immortal is being old or wild. What is
Yeah.
there no standard gods? Is that what the problem is?
Oh, I see what
Just kidding.
you did there.
5 mana, 3/7, legendary druid minion. The first card each player plays each turn costs 0. So this is really
great.
interesting. I mean, I immediately compared it to Temporis, which is like you want your opponent's hand state to be a certain way before you play this card. Or you're playing against a certain kind of deck that's like, if you're playing against Aggro Paladin and they have a bunch of 2/2 cost cards in their hand and they get to play 1 for free, not that big of a deal, especially when it comes around to you and you get to throw out 2 mana. So, 8 8s or 10 10s or 12 12s. So depending on the meta, it could be something you could risk if they like empty their hand and they have nothing in their hand and they're top decking every turn. You could risk this, especially if you have a full hand of stuff.
Yeah.
So depending on the meta, this could see play.
It's
And
a really
it's definitely
interesting-
fun.
It's a super interesting form of ramp if you think about it. It's not like traditional ramp, but it ramps you just on. There's a potential downside to it, you know.
High risk, high reward, right?
Now,
I mean, shoot, if you can drop like a Ysera or something that gives you like recurring value early, it's gonna be gross. But
keep in
I
mind,
think
this
what?
card says card. So no matter how you choose to cheat this out, it will still not give you the benefit of the card until your next turn.
Right.
It will never
Yeah.
give you the benefit of this card on the same turn in which it's
Right.
played. Even if it's cheated
It's
out
the
with
same thing for like the tiny summoner thing, right? The little summoner.
pint-sized summoner.
Pint-sized summoner, yeah.
This card, I think you have to play it with the same amount of care that you play Dirty Rat with. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, ha ha ha, turn 2, Dirty Rat, you'll probably lose, right?
Yasharaj comes
So like,
out.
yeah, maybe turn 5, ha ha, Duskfall and Aviana, you probably will lose because there's a good probability that your opponent has, Void Lords or, Ultimate Infestation or something like that in their hand that you don't want them to be able to do to you.
Let's just
Shoot,
put it
can you
this way.
imagine?
The amount of
Can you
games
imagine
that you
putting
will
it-
lose with this is a non-zero number.
As Pat would say. Well, imagine like doing that to a mage and they happen to have Antonidas hands. Like, oh, I'll just destroy you. I'll just cast a bunch of meaningless little piddly spells.
Oh yeah.
And then you have a bunch of fireballs and you're just gonna die because you can't get past their, extra 18 damage you gave them or something.
The one
like that.
elegant thing that you're going to want to keep in mind about this card, though, is if it sticks, you can play it very early because it is a 5-mana card and you're the only class that can ramp and cheat.
Mhm.
So-
That's 7 health. That's
It
a lot of
It
health.
has a lot of staying power. If your opponent wants to get their free minion and kill it, they likely will be able to, given that they will be an opposing, control deck, for lack of a better phrase, if there's a chance. But against like aggro, this card may be okay if you can, if you're playing a ramp style deck, and then you can play this into Splintergraft into a free 10/10. So we'll talk about Splintergraft later, but I think Splintergraft has a lot of synergies with this card. Whether or not it will be great or even just Timmy worthy will be yet to be seen. But let's keep moving. I'm gonna give the next card
One more
to...
thing that I
Oh,
wanted to
Eve,
say.
go ahead.
Sorry. It also makes me feel like somebody is going to wrongly play after this. Like if you put it on the board, it's going to encourage the other person to just like dump their hand because they can
True.
do a bunch of stuff. They will misplay instead of like targeting it and trying to take it out and stop you from doing what you're going to do next turn. They're like, oh my gosh, I can cast it free. And then that might mess them up enough that they make some kind of call that is not good for them.
I just had an
Like
epiphany.
I can see that. What?
You give your opponent this card, right? They get their 0-mana card. Your next turn, you can play UI into a carnivorous cube and deny them the effect of the card the following turn. And then you can get 2 of them out, and it's really hard, and then both players are just playing 0-mana cards the rest of the game. It's just like, what is going on? That sounds like a super Timmy game to me. I'm going to try that if I get this card. All
That
right.
sounds fun. I like
does.
that idea.
It does sound
That's a
super
good
fun.
epiphany, Rob.
Let's talk about the Witch's
right, next
Cauldron,
one.
Grant.
The Witch's Cauldron. 3 mana. Yeah, sorry. I'm inclined to just do that all day long. Moving on. Okay, Witch's Cauldron. 3 mana, 0/4 epic neutral minion. Whenever a friendly minion dies, add a random shaman spell to your hand. Okay.
It's
Zero-
so weird.
Okay.
Okay,
It's a
bruh.
neutral
Exact
card that gives
response.
people shaman spells.
I mean,
That's
okay,
so
what have we
weird.
all said? Unless there's something we just don't know about. Maybe there's like the shaman spell that everybody's going to be jonesing for. Like everybody's like, well, shaman spells they're kind of either super good or bad. They're feast or famine or I don't know. I don't think it'll see much play. I think
Everyone
it's a little
wants
bit...
unstable evolutions.
3
They all
mana.
are
You don't want to be
jealous.
putting 0 cards or 0. Something that has that hard of a condition. Maybe like it because you probably want to play it in a deck that has some kind of board presence, right? Which Shaman does pretty well. But
Guys,
you have to, stuff has to die for it to work. So
this is
no.
not anything beyond something that Timmy loves to play with in the playground. Okay, like this is a pure flavor card of the Witchwood. The Witchwood already has an apprentice, and if she didn't have a pot to cook stuff, then this isn't a very good expansion, okay? Like, they have to give her the pot, okay, that she can cook up her crazy spells, and this is it. So, it's a flavor card.
Yep. But this is like the kind of Timmy that's like the weird kid that nobody wants to hang around. It's like, oh.
People are going to email the show and be
here.
like, Grant, I love the card. I hate you. You're the worst kid on the playground. You're a
Oh, you know that kid. We all knew that kid in kindergarten. You're having fun, and then the one kid's like, show you like, oh, awkward. You. Oh, you're sitting at my table now. You know, that kind
You're on the wrong side of the playground.
Wow. Okay.
What you don't know is I was that kid. No.
Oh my goodness. No.
The only thing I could think about this was getting it off of an unstable evolution and then going, okay, do I evolve it again, or do I like trade off a couple minions and see if I can get some cool spells?
How fast can I evolve
Use
this
evolution
again? That's my
goggles.
question.
I do. I have evolution goggles. I
will
see
say
cards
that
everywhere.
if we're going to have unstable evolution in at least the standard ladder, there should be more than there is, because we're still losing quite a bit of bad and good evolve cards. So we do need to have a couple bad results, and this is potentially one of them. So keep that in mind. Let's move forward. We have the Wing Blast. This is the hunter card, so Eve, this is up to you.
4 mana rare hunter spell. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If a minion died this turn, this costs 1. Well, that's fairly easy to make happen with
You're
hunter.
playing hunter.
Yeah.
Just
It's
hunter
pretty
just
easy
kills
to-
things. That's all it does. It's just
Yeah, to have a minion die. So it's 4 for 4.
Something I was
That's-
thinking about this card was if your opponent has 2 decently sized minions and you're running Deadly Shot, you could just Deadly Shot and hit something for 4 mana. And then whatever else is left on the board. Like in a mid-rangey end game type of a format where you have the flexibility of killing things off even before you run the Deadly Shot out. With your own minions dying or the enemy minions dying. Because it says a minion. It doesn't say whose minion. It just says a minion. And then you can just deal 4 more damage, kill something with this, and then you can Deadly Shot what's left
Wait.
too.
If a minion died, oh, it doesn't even say friendly minion.
Nope.
if a minion
Okay,
died.
you just need to kill one of theirs. Then
Bingo.
this is super
This
easy.
card's
It's going to be
super
1
great.
every time.
Unleash the hounds, man.
Yeah, Unleash.
yeah.
Board
Yep.
clear.
That's
Okay,
pretty
so
fun.
this is actually probably
it's a
just
good
should
card.
say costs 1.
I love
Costs
the art
1.
of this card
No,
too.
if you're a good Hearthstone player, costs 1.
If you're
my
a good
gosh.
hunter player, this
If you know how to play Hunter, this costs us 1.
Oh, that's cool. I like it.
That's funny. This
Going
card's
on?
really, really cool. Yeah, but let's keep going. The next card is called Rat Trap, and this is one of the cards we're actually going to skip over discussing because we have to cut something. So this is the card that we cut. Rat Trap is a new secret for hunters. It's 2 mana. After your opponent plays 3 cards in 1 turn, you can summon a 6/6 rat. This is really fun to play around, I think, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's a very interesting epic card, but yeah, we decided not to talk about it. So Holy Water, Priest card. I'll mention it and probably just turn it over to Grant because I thought this card was really interesting for Arena. Holy Water is a 5 mana rare priest spell. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If it kills it, add a copy of it to your hand. The card can do very weak things comparatively to another card called what's it called, Grant? The other holy one? Holy Fire.
Holy Smite, Holy Fire.
Holy Fire that is
Okay.
5 mana, deal 5, heal 5. Heal your hero
Yeah.
for 5.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of people are comparing it to and saying this card's bad or good, depending on what you're doing. But like,
no
we're not
way.
here to
Just
talk about
healing
good
yourself
or bad.
or getting
So-
a card. Like
Can
I would rather get a card I can play than just heal myself for 5.
Can I ask a grammar? So when it says if it kills the minion, does it add a copy of Holy Water to your hand or add a copy of
the
the minion
minion.
it killed?
It gives
Add a
you a
copy
copy
of
of
the
the
minion.
minion that you kill.
Yeah.
I think they
Yeah.
need to change that grammar a
Because
little
it says
bit.
if that kills it. That grammar is pretty poorly written, right?
If
'cause
that
that's way
kills
too
it, add
many-
a copy of it.
That's not
pronouns.
great. That's a little
The
awkward.
reflexive use of it is rather questionable here.
It should
Yes.
be if you kill it, add a copy of your hand to
Well,
your hand. That's probably
No, because
okay.
it has to mean holy water specifically, right? Like it has to be the spell. You could say if holy water kills it.
I think if you kill it is fine.
Add a copy of the minion that you
It should
killed.
say the minion to your hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or add a
It's-
copy
it's
of the
pro-
minion.
I
Oh,
would
to your
agree.
hand.
and
Yeah, that's fine.
also it says a minion, so it doesn't say friendly minion.
Right.
Or enemy minion, so it could be any minion. If you just want a copy of one of your own minions, so you can cast it again, and maybe you want to trigger a death rattle, like
It's plausible,
fact-
but not ideal in like a 1 into 10 format. But it does give you the
I
flexibility.
just like the variable of it's not, you're not forced to do this to something. You can choose whatever you want to, and that like widens the possibilities, especially with the priest.
Yeah.
I will say that I like the card for arena, especially if you're running low on resources. And I think that this is fine and constructed. Whether or not it's at pace where you want to play it is a different story, but the card is very cool. Very cool. Like, think about the one situation I was thinking about is people freaking out at Lord Godfrey forever. I'm like, okay, so they play Lord Godfrey, they wipe your board, and then you play Holy Water, and you're like, that's mine now. So you kill their Godfrey, they wipe your
now
board,
have
and you're
a
like,
Lord
now I have that
Godfrey.
as an option. Thank you. You
Yoink!
know?
Thank you for the Godfrey.
And you paid 7 for yours, and I paid 5 to kill yours and get one. So
How much
come
health
at me,
does
bro.
Crowley have?
You know what I mean? What's that?
Oh man, the meta's gonna be so
Crowley
crazy.
and
Crowley's
Godfrey
I
got
have
meant
the same
I meant
stats.
Crowley.
So-
I do this all the time. Crowley and Godfrey.
Godfrey is what you meant, right?
Is Godfrey the Warlock
no.
card, Eve?
Yes.
Yeah, Godfrey's
Yeah,
the guy that
that's the one I
blows
meant.
everything up. Yeah.
Yes, I was asking because Crowley is also a card. If they have the same stats, do they both have 4 health?
Yes.
They're 4/4, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they
So
do.
yeah, you could take either Crowley or Godfrey. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you, Rob.
Okay. Goodness, I was right the whole time. All along.
You were.
You're
all
right on all the fronts.
To
Here
quote
you
the Doomsayer, I knew it. Next card is a rogue card. Grant, Spectral Cutlass, my dude.
Spectral Cutlass, a 4-mana 2/2 epic rogue weapon, reads Lifesteal. Whenever you play a card from another class, gain +1 durability. So it's in line with what they have wanted Rogue to do forever, is steal other people's stuff. Okay, you know, the Burgle Rogue thing that came out so many moons ago is still alive and well. It could see play. 4/4 for a 2/2.
No.
I don't know that Rogue
Two
needs
attack
lifesteal that bad.
is not enough for you to care to keep adding to his durability.
There's already
right?
there's better weapons, you know, that
Yeah, like they're legendary.
Do we know of another weapon
Which never
that
dies.
gave durability? Do you remember another weapon that granted durability?
There wasn't there one where every time you used your hero
Eagle
power,
horn
it would
bow.
add to the durability instead of destroying it?
you mean a
Poisoned
rogue weapon or actual or just a
Poisoned
weapon?
blade.
Poison blade.
Let me see if I can
Oh.
grab this really quick.
Poisoned blade.
Poison Blade is a Hearthstone card from the Grand Tournament set that says 4 mana, 1/3. Your hero power gives this weapon +1 attack instead of replacing it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh right, because they were into the inspired thing.
This is
Yeah.
That's so
very
awful.
comparable to this. However,
Comparable.
This is pretty good in some stretches with the other cards that we've seen that are coming that later on in the show. So I want you to keep that in mind. I don't think this is a card you want to discount because of the lifesteal. If anything, every lifesteal card that we've seen, especially with a new card that lets you draw a lifesteal card from your deck, it doesn't say minion. You can draw this with it. There's a chance that this could see a little bit of play. I really like this card for Arena a lot.
I totally blanked on the lifesteal. I did not see that.
The lifesteal's
It
the big
changed my
gig.
opinion.
Yeah, the lifesteal's the big gig.
I was like,
with
why
this.
is
You
this
don't
so
wanna ignore.
expensive? And then I realized, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
okay.
Let's keep it rolling. Oh, it's a shaman card. Sorry. Bog Shaper, 7 mana, epic shaman card, 4 attack, 8 health, elemental tag. Whenever you cast a spell, draw a minion from your deck.
That's not bad.
Persisting effect.
So this was something that they were going to put together with Hagatha? Is that the...
Bingo. So basically, you
Right.
play Hagatha on turn 8, and you play this on turn 7. You get a spell, And then, or I'm sorry, on turn 9, you play this, and hopefully you can get, like, you have a 1-mana spell somewhere tucked away, or a 2-mana spell tucked away you can play. And then you draw a minion. Now, the difference between this and Hagatha is Hagatha's giving you resources, whereas Bogshaper is taking resources that you've put into your deck. So it will help you draw. It is a somewhat of a draw engine, and the way you want to look at this card is allowing draw for elemental flavored decks, and also giving them a auctioneer-esque card that has a different condition than casting a spell and drawing a card with it. It gives you the elemental tag with the same effect for 1 more mana.
Right.
So, and then it also makes the body way more durable. So it is a higher costed, slightly statted differently minion for Bogshaper. And the cool thing, too, is if you happen to get another spell in Wild, let's say you're playing Kazakus, or you're playing, for whatever reason, you're a Timmy and you're playing Archthief or Fam, those spells will trigger this. It doesn't have to be a Shaman spell.
I have a question.
Grant.
So if you play this and then you play Kalamos, because you know when you cast Kalamos' Battle Cry casts a spell, do you just draw a card too now?
You should.
Because you didn't cast it necessarily out of hand?
I don't
In
know.
theory,
Battle
I
cries
have
are kind of
seen that.
different.
I have seen that. I want to say that that's still going to happen that way. Because I think I've seen somebody
I don't know
play
about that.
Kalamos after an Evolve, and the Evolve got them a Gadget's Hand, and they're like, I drew a card? What? And then like somebody, this is like way, way back. I think this is the thing. Chat, you can
I
feel
don't
free to research this on your own time if you'd like. I love the
Jack could help
card.
us with that one.
I love
Seems
the
like a good card. Seems like it could be really good.
Even
Especially if it sticks.
Yeah. I think if this card draws you 1 card, it's worth. Because it gives you the elemental tag that you're looking for. It gives you a big body. It's not anything like, a 6/6 for 7 in some ways.
Right.
But the 4
Well, the
4
4/8
attack
is
means
a
it
good
can't be
body.
dead. Yeah, I think this is fine. It's a very odd thing. Like once you get up to like 6 mana and above cards, the stats can kind of vary quite a bit and still be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold on how good the card is, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I do think that this has its place where it wants to be played.
Cool.
All right.
I think that the 8 health is just so you can get as much value as you can out of it. I don't think it's supposed to be like a big threat. It's just like lightning rod, but I really love the synergy between this and Hagatha. I really like the way that one feeds into the other and it can just keep going and get out of hand if people don't try and get rid of it. That's really cool.
Big time.
All right, so we have 3 Warlock cards that we're going to pair together next. All right, so this is going to be Blood Witch, Deathweb Spider, and Duskbat. Okay, so we're going to start with the trigger for the other 2 cards, which is the Blood Witch. It is a 4 mana rare Warlock minion that has 3 attack and 6 health, and it says at the start of your turn, you deal 1 damage to your hero. So this will be this following turn after you play it. And then the Deathweb Spider is a 5 mana 4/6 beast minion that has the battle cry, if your hero took damage this turn, you gain lifesteal. And then the Duskbat is a 3 mana battle cry common minion that is a 2/4 beast. If your hero took damage this turn, battle cry summon 2 1/1 bats. Okay, so these 2 cards have the same contingency if you take damage this turn. And then the Blood Witch will give you damage on the following turn. And the idea is having a 4 mana 3/6 body similar to a Water Ellie. It will generally stick because it's fat, and it.
That card's good. Like I think that card has a lot of potential. And Rob, correct me if I'm wrong. These cards function a lot like Amethyst Spellstone functions, where your hero power doesn't count as "quote unquote" taking damage, does it?
No, it does.
It does.
This
Because
says
otherwise
if
it would
your hero took
specifically say,
damage.
yeah, because otherwise it would say you have to take damage from your cards or from your minions, and it doesn't, which is what I was going to remark
That's what
on. This is
Spellstone
actually
said.
easier to pull off than your spellstones. Your spellstones require you to take damage from your cards. This does not.
Okay. Oh,
So
then
you can just
easy.
trigger this by using your hero power,
So
which
you
is
can
really
gain-
cool.
You can actually gain life by using your hero power. Just incrementally inch it up. Wow.
Now,
Interesting.
I want to show you something though. The thing that I was very disappointed in, to be honest. All of these cards, Blood Witch is 4 mana, Deathweb Spider is 5 mana, and Duskbat is 3 mana. If you upgrade your hero power with using Baku, that means that your hero power does 0 damage to you and lets you draw a card. If you have even minions, you can deal 2 damage and draw a card like normal, but it'll cost 1 mana. But you can't play Duskbat and you can't play Deathweb Spider anymore. I think that's actually quite a big oversight as far as deck building is concerned, because I would really like to play a Warlock where my hero power costs 1. And I don't know if they tested this and it proved to be too powerful, and so they had to print, they had to print Blood Witch and just say, look, you can't, just don't mess with the hero power for Warlock because it's too busted as it is. You know what I mean? And you don't want to give them any more tools than drawing a card, taking 2 damage for 1 mana. That's pretty nutty. So I think that this is fairly going to be balanced in that regard, but the stickiness of this is pretty crazy. And then if you don't have Blood Witch on the board, you have plenty of tools to do damage. Like you got the Kobold Librarian, you got your Flame Imps, and you've even got a Infernal. You got the Infernals that deal 1 damage, right? Dread Infernal.
And that taunt that deals 1 damage to you too.
A Pit Lord that deals 5? What are you talking about?
Ooh.
There's a new taunt that we just got in Colds and Catacombs that when it comes out it does damage to your face.
Oh,
right?
the 2/4 taunt that's what is it? It's the one that
the
goes...
Vulgar Homunculus.
Yeah.
Yes, Vulgar Homunculus.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's quite the name, actually.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I think that in some ways they just wanted to give the stats that made sense for the card, and they didn't want to always balance around making an even or odd deck. Like it had to make sense for what they were trying to balance. But that is interesting when you're trying to, because if you got the free or the upgraded hero power, then you wouldn't be able to use it for damage anymore. So that goes against working with these cards pretty well. And then
I mean, the cards for me is like if they're going to deal damage to you, I want to be able to deal damage quickly for like 1 mana with my hero power and then also draw a card. And I can't do that because they're odd,
Yeah.
But I do like this because it's super easy to deal damage to your face. So it's like, if you want to read it that way and like read in the hero power, you can say Deathweb Spider costs 7 mana and it doesn't have a battle cry anymore. It just says Lifesteal. And it's battle cry would be like battle cry, draw a card, lifesteal, 4/6 for 7 mana. And then you can kind of view the same thing if you look at the Duskbat. Duskbat would be 5 mana, 2 attack, 4 health, summon 2/1/1 bats, and draw a card. So if you're looking at how to damage your face with your hero power and you want to inform that by that, you can also just kind of rewrite a card and kind of theory craft that way. That's what I've been doing with some of the cards, is like rewriting it as if your hero power like affects it, right? We did this a lot when we were talking about Inspire Eve way back when we had Grand Tournament.
Yeah.
Same kind of
They were bad. They were all bad.
Now Duskbat I think is significantly weaker in that regard if you're using your hero power to damage your face than the Deathweb Spider because of how powerful Lifesteal can be, and just getting a couple 1/1s seems kind of lame sauce. But
3 mana for a 2/4 and 2 1/1s.
The Duskbat I think is going to be infinitely better with like Librarian and Flame Imp if you're playing fast, right? I think Duskbat's
a
card
really
you want,
good
that'd be
card.
like like
Zoo
turn
loves this
4,
card.
you play a 1 mana card and a Duskbat. It's like boom boom, and then you've got
Yeah,
a
if you
3/2,
think
a
about it-
2/4, and a 1/1 and a 1/1. That's nutty.
If you think about it, Zoo doesn't necessarily have a great turn 4, but if you did this on turn 4, man, it's just almost like it's Zoo, the Warlock Zoo version of Call to Arms in a.
Now you know
kind of
my
a
Zoo
watered
brain
down
is
sense.
going cray cray. Also, giving them a 4 mana 3/6 that deals 1 damage to your face is pretty darn good, but I'm pretty hard pressed to pick this over Despicable Dreadlord, I must say. Okay,
Despicable Dreadlord is 5.
is it 5? Well, then maybe you can run both.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's really no great 4-cost cards in Zoo.
Yeah.
4 is kind of a weird slot.
Okay. Dire
Used
Frenzy.
to have a really good one, but it's gone to wild.
Is it my
Dire
turn?
Frenzy, 4 mana common hunter spell. Give a beast +3/+3. Shuffle 3 copies into your deck with +3/+3.
Whoa.
I just need to say this. I was on Blizzlet this week, and we talked about this and like kept going on and on about how amazing it was. Katharina Winterwisp can pull out whatever you decide to give +3/+3 to with her battle cry and her death
Whoa.
rattle. So that's cool. And also it's give a beast. It's not give a friendly beast. So technically, if you wanted to steal somebody else's beast, and there are a bunch of beasts in different classes, who
7
knows
mana
if people
deadly
will
shot
play
it.
them. Yeah, like set it up so you're going to kill it anyway, but then you get it and you put it into
The
your
fact that it
deck.
gives you 3 copies with that level of buff is wow. For a mid-range late game hunter, that's a lot of gas. I mean, that's like giving free bone merit beasts almost.
Okay, I have to
You know
say
what I
this
mean?
is significantly weaker than Kings and better for Hunter. If that makes
Mhm.
sense, because of the recruit thing that Eve was talking about. And if you get into top deck wars, you just get a more durable minion later on. I think that's fine, especially if you're running a...
It's like gang up.
Yeah.
but
Well,
better.
here's another thing that I wanted to to run past you, because I am contractually obligated by my patrons this week, especially Hat requested that I do a gibberer sound. So this is the card that I'm doing the gibberer sounds. Like, imagine playing gibberer and this on 5. Because now you have 3 4/4 gibberers in your deck that cost 1 mana. And every time you hit it, gibberer says you get a copy of this minion. Which doesn't mean it's a 1/1. It means it's a 1/1/3/3. Or 1/1.
Oh,
Does
what
it say copy of a does
It
it?
does. I just looked it up.
Yes.
Feral Gibberer reads,
What's the buff?
after this minion attacks a hero, add a copy of it to your hand.
Oh, dude.
So when you hit somebody in the face, you're going to be saying more than... You're going to say, oh, snap,
That
you're
one?
dead.
That one? Jeez.
The one that you did is the one that's played. The other one is like...
Ugh.
Like it attacks something. But there you go. You got your money's worth this
Feral
month. Hat.
Gibber a beast?
It is a beast. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not a beast. I'm sad.
Gibber is not a beast?
Okay.
Oh. Now
See,
I'm
that was
sad.
my one question. I couldn't remember whether it was a beast or not.
My entire
which is
theory
kinda
crafting
weird.
of the week for mind-blowing.
Why is Feral Gibberer not a beast, Blizzard? Why?
I guess we'll just
that
see
thing has
ourselves out
more
now.
fur than Katharina. Come on.
Katrina isn't a beast.
Doesn't matter.
Katrina's a dang old elf, man.
It's more. It has more fur than
Damn.
King Crush. That's for darn sure. That dude's got way more scales than you even need.
All right. You get a point there. Does have more fur.
All right.
You know what'd
well,
be funny
You
is
have
to
have
put it
fur
on a
to be
huffer.
beast.
Get some huffers.
Maybe this is why it's not a beast, Rob, because they saw this coming and they were like, "No."
Nope. I'm just perma sad. You guys gonna have to do the show without me. I'm out.
Peace.
No. Chat,
Oh, okay,
console
Grant.
me as we go to the next card.
We got
Oh, we have to. Grant, could you just read the next 3 cards for us,
Yeah,
and then I'll
next
show
3
them
you
on
got it.
stream.
Yep. Swift Messenger, a 4-mana 2/6 common neutral minion, reads rush. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health. So it's just another decently statted minion.
Worgen.
Worgen minion that can swap attack and health. So we've talked about these cards already, so there's not a lot of sense in beating that dead Worgen. Spell Shifter, 2 mana, 1/4 common neutral minion. Spell damage +1 each turn. This is in your hand. Swap its attack and health. So another one, just like that, except it's spell damage +1. Could be kind of sticky. 1/4s are at turn 2 are kind of hard to get rid
Yeah,
of.
but you do have to play around this getting in your hand in the right time, as well as
Yeah.
when you want it to be dropped at a 1/4, because you'd never want this as a 4/1 in pretty much any stretch.
True story. So Gilnean Royal Guard, 8 mana, 3/8 rare neutral minion. Reads Divine Shield. Rush each turn this is in your hand. Swap its attack and health. The fact that it has Divine Shield is good, but 8 mana, oh boy, for that, kind of
Girl,
a...
you expensive. You expensive.
Oh, I mean, okay, so it's 8
Okay,
mana
fine.
for 8 with Divine Shield. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like 8 mana for an 8 spell.
Now,
And then it's going to survive after, but only has 3 health.
I gotta say, if you can get this card from... The thing about rush cards, especially with Worgens,
We summon them.
is you can get them off of, like, evolve effects. And I love that about Rush. And Charge, for that same matter, is, like, you can... Like, if they're super durable bodies from Worgens, you can, like, evolve something with the Unstable Evolution, charge something, and then evolve it again, and then go down the line, and then maybe you end up at 8, and you get this. You know what I mean? Like, you can do a lot of damage along the way. So that's something that I've been thinking about with Rush cards. But let me back up real quick. Swift Messenger. I didn't really evaluate this card properly because of the implications with this actually being pretty darn good for Warrior.
Oh, wait, did you already say if you evolved this, it would be a 3/8?
Yeah, if you evolve it, it'd be a 3/8 with Divine Shield and Rush.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It wouldn't be an 8/3. Because you would get it at this stat. It wouldn't be the war.
Right, but I'm saying you're not terribly upset with getting a Rush minion out of a unstable evolution. Is kind of the big point.
Yeah, no, you're
Okay.
not. Getting a Rush minion out of a stable and evolution is almost always a good thing. So
Yeah, the
Okay.
Swift Messenger is very, very cool for Warrior, and I think that's going to be a neutral consideration for the Rush deck just because of the nature of being able to buff this with the Woodcutter's Axe. I didn't think about that before because that'll be a 4/7 on turn 4.
could be good.
All right, next
Be
card. Eve, you want to talk about Dorian?
Doll Master Dorian. I had the pleasure of seeing his transformation, like what he looks like when he's cast onto the board, is uber creepy.
It's so cool.
So creepy.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. I gotta check it out.
I'll wait till
He's
Eve says it, and then I'll
foggy
describe it.
and like shadowy, and then one of the doll's eyes lights up green, and then one of Dorian's eyes lights up green. It's like he gave one of his eyes to the doll.
It's
So we thought he
super
was
dope.
winking. I think that he actually took out one of his own eyes and gave it to the doll.
Interessant.
Yes, it's
Hey, okay. So question:
What does
is
it do,
this
Eve?
the?
We didn't say what it did.
Okay, yeah. Read the
Done
card
did.
art.
We didn't say what it
Card
done did.
text.
5
Okay.
mana, 2/6, legendary neutral. Whenever you draw a minion, summon a 1/1 copy of it.
Wow.
So the first thing I
Draw
thought
a
of
minion.
was, right, this is telling your opponent what's in your hand, kind of the way Chameleon does, which is kind of like a little bit of a downside, because as soon as you draw the minion, it immediately creates a copy. So people are like, oh, she's got that, you've got that in your hand. It's not going to be a surprise.
It is a little conditional version of words escape me. Gadgetzan.
Ixlid?
Gadgetzan. So what I think here is this is basically a reverse Gadgetzan because it's a it's something you can play around with Death Rattle cards that let you draw, like Thalnos and Loot Hoarder, for example. So whenever you're drawing cards or you're playing minion-based draw in a very minion-heavy deck, the Dollmaster can give you something. If you're playing like minion-heavy with like rush cards or minion-heavy with anything that has Death Rattle or even Lifesteal, I can see this being advantageous. But I don't know. I think this card is very, very cool. You know what I mean? There's a
I think
lot
it's
of
got a
really
lot of
cool
potential.
things you can do with this.
Especially as more
Really
Death Rattle
exciting.
minions are revealed over the next couple.
I really want to keep an eye on this moving forward, like for
Mhm.
serious, and I will definitely be tinkering with this.
Question: is this this artwork and on this card looks just like the elf in that Blizzard promo video? You know where they sing Hearthstone in the tavern and they're dancing around, and there's that elf in the picture.
Right.
When they said no, we're not making any of those characters into cards. Is this? It looks just like him.
It's not.
It's not. It's different.
I actually went and looked because there were a bunch of people in the Discord saying, "Isn't this the guy? Didn't
Yeah,
you
yeah.
say?" Yeah, no, he's got a different name. You can go on the web page and they have like all of the named characters in that.
Is it the same
little
artist then?
short.
Maybe. Is it the same
His
artist?
name is he probably is the same artist because it's so similar.
Right,
In fact,
right.
we should draw attention and be like, "Hey, you're confusing people because like everyone who saw this card thought it was that guy, and you said you weren't going to make them into cards, so you should probably not make them look so similar." But anyway, I think his name is like
C'est la vie.
Valerian or something like that. Anyway, totally different guy. So
Got it.
not the
Just
same.
keep this
elf.
in mind moving forward. If you see something in a Hearthstone short like that, they said after the Hearthstone short released, none of those characters will be Hearthstone cards. None.
Right.
So
I wonder why.
if somebody has the
Why not?
question of if a card is there, it's because it's a meta game where the people are playing cards in the Warcraft universe and not playing
Yeah.
themselves because they're not meant to be Warcraft-centric big things. They're meant to be like buddies in the tavern that have no name. They're just kind of there that you know from the local pub. So they're not
Got it.
like big Hearthstone names. They're just Hearthstone characters to build something fun around.
It's like Inception, right? They're
Yes.
playing the game, so they wouldn't be playing themselves.
You
as
don't go 3
cards.
layers deep. Next card, Voodoo Doll, 3 mana, 1/1, epic, neutral, Battlecry, choose a minion, Death Rattle, destroy the chosen minion.
Dun dun dun. Could be
I
good.
am so excited for this card. This is like, I think, my favorite card in the set right now.
Why?
It is so versatile, and I'm thinking of like so many different things, like having a cheap card like this at 3 mana for decks that have bounce effects in Rogue. Like the Gadgets and Ferryman that just rotated. Now you have Panda and Gorgonzola, or Zola the Gorgon. You can put this back in your hand and do it again. You can kill stuff. You can
What?
kill something and then...
You think that you could choose multiple targets if you bounced this?
No, what I mean is that maybe not bounce, but get a copy of this card. Like being able to generate a copy of this could be pretty cool. Like playing Zola the Gorgon, you get a copy of this in your hand. So you can play it twice. You can play this with Warrior, where you can like kill stuff really cheaply with like whirlwind effects. That was something that I really thought about.
I'm now
was
wondering
super
though,
cool.
if you got the battle cry off and then you pulled it back into your hand and put it again and chose a different target and then killed it, would both things die?
Probably not. Also, this is something that I thought about in Druid, because Druid doesn't have very hard single target removal. You can play this.
Because Shadow Step.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Mad Gamer in the chat. Rogue Secret. That's what I was thinking. You get a copy of this if they kill it, or if you kill it. Basically, you have this inevitability of this card being on the field, and then it dies.
What's the Warlock card that like kills a minion the next turn? What card is that? It's in the classic set.
Corruption?
Is it Corruption?
Yeah.
Yeah, Corruption.
Because then there was Corrupting Mist that did it like for the whole board. I don't know, man. Those cards don't see much play. And I think this card would be a little easier to manage because you could kill it if you were like a mage. You could ping it or something.
Yeah, mage.
That card doesn't see any play, and it guarantees that it dies the next turn.
If you're a warrior, you can whirlwind.
So I think it's probably a little bit easier to get to, but I don't know. I mean, it could be good. I could see in places where it could be good, but
well, you got to think about Execute going away for Odd Warrior as well. Right?
Priest could kill it with holy water, and then get another copy of it in their hand.
Ooh.
Yeah, but then you're spending 8 mana to do something cute.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think of like different ways that different classes have to trigger this 1/1 on the same turn that you cast it, and yeah, Priest doesn't have a whole lot of options.
This is a card I will be monitoring very closely, and the power of the card, like Grant said, with Corrupting Mist and Corruption, doesn't happen when it happens on the following turn, because then it's not that great. You want to be able to trigger this in the same turn for its power. That's what the key is. So if you're wanting to run this in your deck, you're trying to consider what you're looking for. You need to consider this is a removal card that I need to play and activate the Death Rattle that turn. There's also something that I was thinking about. I almost forgot. Playing this with Umbra. You can also play this with Play Dead and Play Dead with the Play Dead card from Knights of the Frozen Throne with Hunter.
Yeah. You could also put it in Shaman. You know, like Ancestral Spirit and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Shaman.
But then once you kill the minion, you
can't pick another target, so there's not really any reason to keep it alive unless you're going to pull it back into your hand. Priest does have that one that does 1 damage to everything and gives you lifesteal.
Spirit Lash.
Spirit Lash, thank you.
Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff with the card. There's going to be a good time where people are going to try to be cute with this card too much, and then they're going to be like, this card's bad, and then there'll be somebody in the pro scene that's going to be like, this works really well with this card. Let's do it, and it'll gain popularity because it's like
it's
1/1.
Just hard removal for all the classes that don't have
Honestly,
it.
I think
anything.
It could be good in a control deck. I think it could be pretty okay in a control deck. Maybe as a one of. Maybe always a one of. You know.
Defile Activator. Defile. You just find the fattest minion and you say I'm gonna kill that, and then I'm gonna activate my Defile to hit at least 2 to 3. You know, so I do 3 damage on board, and then Next card, Druid card, Grant.
Splintergraft, an 8 mana. Splinter, yeah. Okay, 8 mana, 8/8 legendary Druid minion. Battle Cry. Choose a friendly minion. Add a 10/10 copy to your hand. That costs 10.
Next.
Well then.
I love
mean,
how
we know Eve's a Druid bigot.
Art.
We get that. But
words hurt.
Okay. It's okay. You've expressed your hate and dislike for Druid for no apparent good reason so far.
No,
so
it's not.
Why not?
It's just that this is an objectively bad card. Like, yes, Druid also, so not a fan, but
whoa, an objectively bad card.
Yep.
Are we going that far?
Are you
on
saying?
our show?
Yep.
Are you
Yep.
saying
Eve, you're
that?
out.
Never mind. If there was Olympics, would
Go
you
read your
exclude the
books.
druids just because they druids?
Listen,
Are you going to make the druids
10,
drink out of a
10
different
for
fountain?
10?
Just because you think an objectively bad card is anything that has druid on it doesn't mean anything, okay?
we have a 10-10 for 10 already, and nobody ever puts it in any deck ever.
No, you're right. I think this card is a whiff. It's
Really?
well, I mean, unless you can copy a charge minion that's on the board or something that like really does something, but maybe in wild I could see some application here, but
What does they have?
what
I
does
know
they have?
English well. What
English
do
better.
druids have that have charge?
They don't.
Does it have to
You know,
have charge,
you know what? Actually, I actually thought of a situation where this would be okay. If you're running like a taunty deck, like a late game taunty control deck, like doing this to Hadronox would be busted. You know, a 10-10 Hadronox would be pretty cool, actually. You know,
Why
because you
not
can't.
a 10-10 scenarios?
Or maybe that might be okay. I think Druid has some good cards that it would want to copy, but
Okay, you ready for me to
it's
blow
hard.
your mind?
All right, I'm ready.
Yes, please do.
Do you guys know of a card called Happy Ghoul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does Happy Ghoul say on the card? If you heal your hero power, how much mana does this cost?
How is Druid gonna heal themselves?
There's so many cards that heal you.
What?
You have Healing Touch in Druid. They have lots of resources in Wild. So this is definitively very, very playable in Wild.
Yeah, but Druid, I mean, they haven't used those cards really. The cards Druid uses for heal are the armor cards,
If you
which
get
are
a
also
0
very good.
mana 10-10 and a 0 mana 3-3 and an 8 mana 8-8 in the same turn,
Well,
it's
but
a
how
lot of
many Happy Ghouls
inevitability,
are
granted, and it may not be busted, but I'm just saying that is capable of what you can do with the card. You can make something cost nothing.
I
And
think
on
you could
top
use
of
it.
that- Sorry.
You could bamboozle them, but Happy Ghoul's a 3-cost card, so you would have to wait a turn. And is a 3-cost card going to survive?
A
I don't
3-cost
know.
card gonna survive? What do you mean?
I'm getting confused here. Choose a friendly minion, so it has to be on the board, right?
Yeah. So you heal yourself for
You heal yourself.
nothing. Like, you figure out how to heal yourself. There will be cards to heal yourself, and it works with lifesteal, so you got to find maybe a mid-range
Well,
lifesteal minion can work as well.
All I'm saying is that a 3-3 put down later in the game is going to die
The point is
Yeah,
not
that's right.
playing
It's got
the
to
3/3.
survive for Splintergraph to target it.
because you have
right?
to target it when it
Time
comes
out,
on the
time
board.
out, time out. The goal is playing 1 or 2 mana or having a card on the field that is either somehow going to heal you. So think about the 5 mana 4/5 that is called Rotten Apple Bomb, right?
Uh-huh.
If
Yep.
that's on the
Okay.
board and it's not dead yet, you can run that in, heal your face, play Happy Ghoul, Splintergraph, Happy Ghoul.
Got
then you
it.
have
Okay, so
3,
it's a
3, 8, 8,
multi-stage.
10, 10 for 8 mana. And then you have 2 more mana
Okay.
to spend. Okay?
I like
So
it.
you can
Okay.
do
I
that.
like it. I don't think it'll work, but I like it.
I don't think it's going to work either, but it's possible.
Yeah, I like it.
And the other thing, too, is that I was talking with Hat, is this effect is so powerful, if there's some way to cheat the system, that it's worth always considering. So even if the card's bad, and objectively bad, the effect is powerful enough to consider as an option. And that's what I'm going to advocate. And I will never discount this card because
Okay.
that card is freaking cool. And he's holding this tiny little axe, and it looks hysterical. Okay, next thing. I just don't want to discount it. We got Toki the Time Tinkerer, so I'm going to give it to our top 10 wild expert to talk about the card.
Okay, I just got to say, it was a real missed opportunity to not make this chromey.
Fully
It should
agree.
have been chromey.
They should have made it chromey. I agree.
I mean, the ability, I would have been like, yeah, that's chromey flavor. I agree with that completely.
Maybe they're going to
you
make
that don't
Chromie
know-
actually good and this card just bad, right? Hopefully.
Chromie is a bronze dragon. So the time tinkering, the whole fact that she's also a gnome would have worked really well with this. But anyway, 6 mana, 5/5 legendary mage minion. Is Chromie a mage? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Battle cry. Add a
She's a
random
gnome.
legendary minion from the past to your hand. So this from the past means any card that is legal in the wild format. So things from Hall of Fame and things from wild.
Cool.
So
somebody
excited.
did the strats on this and said it was a 50-50 chance that you could get a good legendary. Like they kind of put which ones that you would want to get and which ones are crap that are in wild right now. And it's like a 50% chance that you could pull something really decent. Dr. Boom, Ragnaros, Sylvanas.
You got to think about all of the
Thornton.
current Old Gods cards and all of the Mean Streets of Gadget Zan cards because those are also in the pool.
Yogg-Saron, Yasharaj,
N'Zoth.
N'Zoth.
I like how
They
you're
definitely
singing.
put it
N'Zoth,
in-
Happy
Yasharaj.
Rag.
N'Zoth!
Happy Rag.
Libretto brought to you by Eve Martin. Okay.
This is only a mage card, though, so keep that in mind. All right, let's move on. Not much more to discuss on this card. Super fun. We're going to pair up the two
super
next
cool.
rogue cards for Grant to discuss, so let's start with Miss Wraith.
Mistwraith, the 4-mana, 3/5 rare rogue minion. Whenever you play an Echo card, gain 1/1. Think about this now. Pickpocket, 2-mana rare rogue spell. Echo, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. That could be super fun. You know what I mean? Being able to drop this and then like buff a card that goes to face, but adding a bunch of stuff to your hand. It could be good. Are there any cheaper Echo Rogue cards right now? Or like any super cheap bounce Echo cards that we know about yet?
We have the 2-mana cheap shot, deal 2 damage, Echo.
Right. I could do it too. That kind of reminds me a lot of like Questing Adventurer, except specific to Echo. And it's a lot more durable because it's a 3/5.
So Grant, I wanted to ask you about this.
Sure.
So a lot of people are saying this is like maybe really good, and a lot of people are saying like maybe really bad. But I think it's maybe kind of actually in the middle, which sounds like I'm on the fence, but hear me out. So with Echo, this is essentially doing what you want to do with like a Questing Adventurer, right? Or even you could even compare that to like we'll just say Questing Adventure for lack of a better phrase and for time. But this card only really requires one other card for you to have. Whereas Questing Adventure asks you to play literally anything, and the body really sucks when you play it. This body is fine. Like, this is a Violet Teacher body with the stat line, and it's great already. And then if you play an Echo card,
hard to get rid of.
Right. And if you play an Echo card, this triggers every time you play Echo, and Echo literally doesn't go away until the turn ends.
Or you run out of mana.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, you see my point? Like, you only really need 2 cards for this to go off.
Yeah, I think this card's got some potential, especially when you start thinking about, like...
Or one card, sorry.
Like, if you start thinking about how it interacts with Valera plus preparation and stuff like that. Could be good.
Would you say Valera's card has Echo?
No.
The Death Knight?
No, the Death Knight, but the Death Knight allows you to like play a lot of stuff. Like, so when you have preparations and things like that, you can make some shenanigans, you know, like make your resources kind of stretch, I guess you could say. So I think there's some definite potential here with this card. I like the 3/5 body a lot. 3/5 bodies, 3/6 bodies, 3/7 bodies, they tend to stick around pretty good.
So if you play one Echo card twice in a turn, let's just say that's like probably what you're looking for, right? That's 8 mana.
You have a 5/7 plus some removal.
5/7 plus probably removal,
value.
or you've generated 2 cards from your opponent's class, right? That sounds fine.
Yeah. Well, Rogue is in such a position where it just kind of needs anything to get it going again, because it's just kind of treading water. It doesn't really...
Sorry, I found the weapon card. I just looked it up. It's a Grave Shambler, 4-mana, 4/4 elemental. Whenever your weapon is destroyed, gain 1/1.
Got it.
Okay.
Great. Just random insertion there. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I like cards that give me cards from the opponent's class. I can't think of too many times where I was super disappointed. Like, oh, man. It's like, yes, I got a fireball, or yes, I got a board clear, or whoo, I got their big giant legendary minion that they don't want me to have, you know?
Imagine if Pickpocket, like as an Echo card, you know, like can grab a card from your opponent's class and you're playing against a different class that has lots of Echo cards. Just like, well, I'll take an Echo card and just echo my Echo card.
Just think about the meta with Shaku. Think about it this way. When Shaku was a thing, everybody knew you don't leave Shaku on the board, because if Shaku can keep generating, it's the multiple times things, right? Because the thing about Shaku is, if he got you 1, whatever, but you did want him to start getting 2 and 3 and 4 different cards because eventually you were going to hit on something good, and you needed to. And Shaku had stealth, so you were guaranteed at least one. So I think that the pickpocket has a lot of potential. So we'll see.
Okay, we're a little behind, so let's go fast. We got to go to the silver sword.
Rob,
What's up?
Rob, they revealed Archmage Aragal.
Okay, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Shoot. All right.
While
Breaking news.
Thank you for letting. Yes. I will start downloading this image while we're doing the show. So you talk about Silver Sword, okay?
I wanted to skip to the end, but okay.
Too bad.
Silver Sword.
Skip to the end.
I'm in charge, and I'm not Patches.
Silver Sword, 8 mana, 3/4, rare paladin weapon. After your hero attacks, give your minions +1/+1. And they wanted to make sure that this could never be used ever because it's 8 mana.
Like Vine Cleaver.
Wow. Vine Cleaver
I'm sorry,
treatment.
the kind of weapon that you want to buff all of your many minions on the board is not 8 mana. You want it like a turn 2 or turn 3, not turn 8.
Yeah. 8 mana is pretty dang steep.
If
you don't have a board.
Yeah, if you have a full board of minions on turn 8, you're probably already winning. And probably giving your minions 1/1 is just like overkill.
Yeah. It's a win more card.
Yeah.
I am never giving a high-costed weapon the Vine Cleaver treatment ever again. So I'm going to say this card is maybe okay. And you should still consider it because it has 4 durability in a low in a minion deck that you get a you get
Weren't we just talking
incremental.
earlier about a dragon that makes your weapons cheaper?
What?
Is there somebody in the chat that was watching the show was saying there's a dragon in Paladin that makes your weapons cheaper? Did I hear that wrong?
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know.
will not confirm or deny that.
Eben Dragonsmith, French Toast said. How cheaper?
What is
How
it?
much cheaper, French?
Something Dragonsmith?
Eben Dragonsmith, neutral in Knights of the Frozen Throne. Is that going to make it
Eben
playable?
Dragonsmith, Hearthstone. This is a 3/4 mana, 3/4 dragon. Reduce the cost of a random weapon in your hand by 2. So this becomes 6 mana.
Still.
Is 6 mana cheap enough?
We'll
What was
see.
the card that buffs that works with dragons? This card is definitely something for Paladin because it has the gargoyle, right? The gargoyle gets the buff off dragons. You can play this and you can play Fairy
Right.
Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Is 6 cheap enough? 6
If
cheap enough.
you got to remember, you have 4 charges out of this weapon. Incremental buffs is pretty stinking crazy.
Okay, yeah, I didn't. This isn't a
could be
battle
good if you
cry.
have a
This is
sticky board.
after
It's
your
when
hero
you-
attacks.
When you've attacked something, it's like a lifesteal trigger, but it just buffs the minions instead of healing you.
Well,
It's not-
you know, now that I think about it, when you think about the waves of cards that Paladin can do, right? Dude Paladin can just wave cards, although we're going to lose some of those because
Thank you, chat.
Stand Against the Darkness is going bye-bye. And you don't want to run this probably and Vine Cleaver, right? It might be a wild-only card for Dude Paladin because in Dude Paladin, you can just do waves and waves and waves of dudes. And so, but there a lot of times it comes a time where you have a lot of 1/1s just kind of hanging out and you don't really have much to do with them. So while you're chipping them down, but if you can hit them for 3 plus another, 3
You
or
could
more,
also
or 4
play
more.
the Eben Dragonsmith with a True Silver on turn 6. You have a 3/4 dragon on the board, and you got a 4/2 weapon that heals you for 2 every turn that it hits. That's fine as well.
I like this because if I can make this cheaper, I like it because it's not a battle cry. It's not when you equip this
Bingo.
weapon, it's a battle cry. It's after you attack. So you can choose when to make this proc. That I missed
That's what I'm
on
saying.
first read, so I apologize for that. But you can make sure you hold it, you wait until you got the board you want, then attack, buff everything.
Sure.
Of course, it's vulnerable to getting destroyed
So-
by all the weapon destroy stuff, but
Let's talk
Cool.
Bellringer Sentry, Eve. You wanna also grab that one?
okay, 4 mana, 3/4, rare paladin minion. Battle Cry and Death Rattle put a secret from your deck into the battlefield. There was a whole bunch of hue and cry after this came out about its mini mysterious champion. And as Rob said, I believe
Challenger.
earlier, sorry, right, Mysterious Challenger, we need better secrets in order to care about this. So if we actually get a couple secrets in this set or later sets that
For
are
standard.
worth running
For
it,
standard.
then, right, because there's already good ones in Wild. If we see any maybe in this expansion, it might take a better look. But right now, the secrets aren't good enough that you're like, yeah, I want to pull it out with the battle cry and the death rattle and get my secrets for free. So at the
Grant?
moment, it's me.
I think it's okay. I was thinking like I wonder if I would run it in Wild, and I'm like, the problem for me is that it's in that 4-mana slot. It seems like all the good Paladin cards are in the 4-mana slot, so they force you to make choices because you can't have a deck full of 4-mana cards.
So I
No,
watched
no,
did you watch the review for this? The video that that announced the card. So
No,
the nice thing about this is that you can watch the videos on each of these, and I went through all of the cards this week prior to the show, and I watched all of the card reveals that had a video that had some sort of English interpretation or subtitles at least. And what they were saying is there's an interaction with this card that is the same as Mad Scientist with Redemption. So that if this card Battlecry summons Redemption, right?
yeah.
Which Redemption is the 1-mana secret that Paladin has that will resurrect a minion with 1 health.
Mm-hmm.
If you have Redemption in play and this card gets it off of the Battlecry, that's fine. Then the card dies, triggers its death rattle, and let's say you only have 2 copies of Redemption in your deck. Right? Or you're at a point in the game where the last secret in your deck is the second Redemption, right? The card will trigger the death rattle and run a check if you have Redemption in play. And you do have Redemption in play, so the minion dies after the trigger, and then Redemption will resurrect the minion.
So you don't get a second secret off the
That's
death rattle.
correct.
'Cause
So you will
the
have to
same
wait until
secret
the
in play.
minion. You have to wait for the minion to die, and then
It's not good.
and then if you have Redemption in play, it's still fine. It's still good because what you can do is you hope that you can play a Redemption first, and then you can get this to trigger, and you have more secrets later on. It's just it's not as good later on. So I think I talked a lot with Hat about this card this week. I think that we are 1 average secret away from this card being really good.
Yeah,
And we
need to
are
see
right
the
at the
secrets.
time where, again, this is all in view of standard. I think this card is fine in standard right now. Because you do have Kodo, you do have Redemption, you do have Repentance, which is super disruptionary for like really fat bodies. That does have to be like 1. That's pretty annoying. And then you have, Get Down or whatever that one is. I can never remember the name of that card.
Sack.
Sacrificial.
Noble Sacrifice.
Noble Sack, yeah. I always
Noble
called it
Sack.
Get Down, even when I was going to the Legends.
That's what everybody calls it.
Get down.
Get down!
Here's the thing: is that I think they're trying to give us a reason to play Paladin Secrets, but they don't want to have a broken Mysterious Challenger. So
Mhm,
this is
mhm.
something that they feel like is so middle of the road. It's not going to get out of control. It's not going to do the same thing that we had before with Secret Paladin. So just something to kind of like be like, play secrets again. Maybe consider putting some secrets in your deck. But like you said, we need to see better secrets.
Okay, Grant, next one, Glass Knight.
Glass Knight, a 4-mana 4/3 legendary Paladin minion, Divine Shield. Whenever you restore health, gain Divine Shield. Now we have a note. We kind of in our
Yes.
show notes it says, "Can
It's confirmed.
It's confirmed.
the face gets Divine Shield?"
No. You can heal either yourself or your minions, and it will
Mhm.
trigger this.
Oh, but what I'm saying is like, do you get Divine Shield or does the minion get it?
Just the minion.
Okay. Gain Divine
I
Shield
want
on a
my
minion.
face to
Okay.
get divine shield.
That would pretty nutty,
I was thinking that'd be
dude.
cool.
That's the same
be
thing as
sweet.
going immune for a second.
yeah,
you
but it's
just-
just one hit. They can pop it with one hit and then continue to attack you. It's not like
Girl, that
Ice
don't matter.
block.
That's still cool. We haven't been able to do that yet.
that
can
would
do
be
it in
cool.
Tavern
I
Brawls.
want my
They've done
face
it
to
in
get
Tavern
divine
Brawls, but-
shield.
I think this minion's pretty lackluster. It reminds me of Blackguard, where like when you get healed, something good happens allegedly.
But this is
Because
the
Blackguard-
added condition that you could just heal your minions.
mhm. Whenever you restore health, so that's good.
Yeah.
Um,
There's True Silver Champion.
There is
but I
Benevolent
think it-
Jinn, which is a 3-mana 2/4 that heals your face for 3 at the end of the turn.
right. But that card, I think there needs
It's
to
an
be more
elemental.
support for cards like this to really, make a splash. But there
couple
could
more
be
healing
coming down the
things.
pike, so we don't know.
This is
I don't know that
really close to being pretty powerful, though, I would say.
Yeah, it has potential, but right now it's not. It's not. At least at this moment in time. It could be when the full set's reviewed. We can be like, oh, of course, yes, you use it like fill in the blank.
I think this is getting a lot of the Wicker Flame initial feel. Because we thought Wicker Flame was like, well, if you can get like some buffs on it, then it's dangerous, you know? I think this is fine. It's a 4 attack, 4/3 with Divine Shield, which you basically are not really sacrificing a whole lot because it's a legendary for the stat line with the Divine Shield, and it's already got it. It's the same.
Yet again,
thing.
a 4-mana card though.
I also heard people
Why
saying
do they
that
keep
this.
giving Paladin 4-mana cards? Why?
I don't know. They love 4.
So many.
They love
Cuatro.
4. But think
Their
about
favorite.
the Boulevard Fireblood with this card. You have just like a recurring Divine Shield that's popping and going off and going up and buffing your Boulevard. That's pretty freaking nutty Timmy card, but
True story.
Oh wow,
right.
edge case.
Next
Yeah,
one,
that's cool.
Worgen Abomination. This is
That
basically
card's crazy.
Stitches with a Worgen head. 7 mana.
Yeah. Totally.
Epic 6/6 neutral minion. It is not a beast or a Worgen card, even though it says Worgen, like with a Worgen effect, because it has 6 attack and 6 health, so it wouldn't matter. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all other damaged minions. So this is a very, very specific epic card.
To all damaged minions. So if you whirlwind and it got damaged itself,
It will
would
damage
also
itself.
take the damage.
That is
Yeah.
correct. So if you whirlwind, this is at the end of your turn, you will deal 3 damage to the entire board, like Hellfire, including this card. So that's what you want to think about, is this is like Hellfire on a stick that's conditional, and you're giving it to the neutral set. So if you're running this card, you can also pair this with a 1-mana spell or a 0-mana spell, Wild Pyromancer, and the Worgen Abomination, and still get things. So keep that in
This card's
mind.
pretty decent.
This card's really intriguing as just a really good tool to just have in your back pocket. I think that's probably the best way to like describe this card. Something you should really look at if you're looking at like spell heavy stuff, and you want to just
It's a
throw Pyro in
recurring
there.
Sleep with the Fishes, is I think what you were saying. You said Hellfire. I think it's
Sleep
more
with
of a
the
recurring
Fishes
Sleep with
was-
the Fishes.
Yeah, Sleep with the
Because
Fishes.
it had to be
that's
damaged for
right.
it to work.
Yeah, that's right.
But there's a lot of classes that can trigger this, like Spirit Lash,
But the
Defile
cool thing,
if it didn't kill everything, Whirlwind.
I really like
Swipe.
the part about this card though, where you can Whirlwind and then play it, and then it's like just sticking on the board with no damage on it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have that as an
Yeah.
option too. So
Yeah.
don't think of it like in the stretch that you always have to play something and then play Fishes, right? Like you're playing this and then it happens at the end of the turn. So it's a little bit different than Fishes, because Fishes can just like pop off and clear the board and then like let you go hit them in the face with a weapon, right? This you have to wait till the turn ends and then all that stuff happens. So it has that weird extra condition that you have to kind of play around that's a little bit differently than Fishes and also Hellfire, because it doesn't have any form of immediacy. It has what we call the hand exchange of where you're trading initiative with your opponent. That happens a lot with this card. All right. Town Crier. I will also take this one. 1 mana, warrior minion, 1 attack, 2 health, Battle Cry. Oh, it's an epic, by the way. Battle Cry, draw a rush minion from your deck.
Town Crier. That's a good name.
Given that warrior has so much cycle, and most of the cycle, actually, trying to make sure I can get this right. I'll just say most, if not all, of the cycle in warrior is spell-based. This will allow you to run a Toodle card that is not spell-based, and allow you to
I like
draw
this card
something
a
that you
lot.
want to play. So this is one of the rare edge case epic tagged minions that is something that you're like, this card's really powerful in a lot of ways, and you're almost always going to want to be able to play this. There are at least 3 class-specific rush minions that you want out of this card. Militia Commanders is 2 of them, and 1 of them is Darius Crowley. You can just draw those cards with this, and you can draw them on the first turn of the game. So you can basically just like always mulligan your 4-mana cards and try to get the Town Crier and play it on 1. This card's
that card's
super
good.
good.
Having 2 health
I
helps a
don't-
lot.
I don't know Warrior that well, but it seems to me like they're always kind of lacking in the 1-mana slot.
Yeah.
Like, what do they even play on 1 right now?
Usually Nazat's first mate, but that's going away. So
The other
It
one is
was
that
like
new
that-
red band wasp that we were considering. There's like the 1/4.
Is that a 1 mana too?
There's also the is it a 2 mana card, Grant? The one that like damages the minion that comes out?
yes,
a
it's a
1 mana
one.
card?
I think it's a 1 mana card. I was playing with it in the Tavern Brawl this week because I had a warrior quest. So yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's pretty cool. It damages it, but
So there's a lot of really good 1 mana stuff that we're actually going to be able to kind of play around with on this rotation. So I can promise you there are like 2 or 3 decks that I want to play with, and this just thinning your deck out is great, and especially for like a tempo card and a tempo deck. You're just getting something that trades with anything that's 1/1 or 1/2 or 2/1. So you're trading with those.
And it's super specific. Like, you know exactly how many rush minions you have in your deck. You can plan that out. And, like,
and you're going to
you know
be
exactly
playing
what
rush
you're gonna
minions
get.
from your deck. So you
Yeah,
just
it seems like
mulligan for
Warriors
this
favoring
and the
rush
Woodcutter's
minion.
Axe. And then you have a 1, 2, and a 4 always. Like if you're just running only
Nice.
4 mana rush minions. So pretty cool stuff. Next one is Totem Cruncher. It's a shaman card, but I'm willing to share. So Eve, you want to try?
It's so cute. It
Got a
looks like a
chipped tooth.
porcupine. 4
think-
mana, 2/3 epic shaman minion. It's a beast. Taunt, battle cry, destroy your totems. Gain +2/+2 for each destroyed. I like it.
You guys ready for a
like it a
sad
lot.
trombone about this card? That's gonna
What?
happen sometime around. No. Not about the card itself, but
Oh,
it's that
okay.
trombone
Okay.
moment that's gonna happen, and it's gonna be on Trollden
When you
within a couple
accidentally
weeks.
kill,
When you kill your amalgams with this,
because it's everything.
because it's a totem.
You're like,
Amalgams are
no, I
everything."
forgot about that.
Dang it, my 3/4.
Or you're not sad because it just made your totem cruncher +2/+2.
You're a little sad if it's like not taking any damage yet, but
Trade
So-
it so it's like barely hanging
This
on.
is silence
and
bait
then-
too. This is
Yeah.
major silence bait.
I do like the card. I think that it having taunt is the one thing that makes me actually consider the card. Because basically you kill a minion, you're like, oh, it's a 4 mana Yeti, you know, and I have the condition of killing one of my own things. Well, sometimes you have totems you don't actually want. Maybe you have a searing totem, and just like a 1/1. It's like, I want to get a different card, you know? So I'm gonna try to.
Is Gen the 4? The even?
Gen is the odd.
Yeah, because Gan
Gen is
rhymes
the
with
even, yeah.
even.
So you can get
So,
this
yeah.
with Merc Spark Eel, and then you get 1 mana totems. So I think that can work.
1 mana,
Um,
you're just pumping it out every turn because why not? You got free mana, and then pull this guy out, and he becomes a.
Yeah, so it passes the
huge
vanilla
thing.
test if you kill something for 1 mana, which is gonna likely happen a lot with Gen decks, and then it has taunt. So I think it's okay. Definitely encouraging us to go the even route. And you know what else is also in the even route? Alakir the Windlord. You're legendary. And Calamos for that matter, but I don't know if you're gonna be playing that.
I want to
Okay.
read French Toast's rhyme that she just wrote in the
Go
chat.
ahead.
There once was a man from Gilneas whose crying the town found contagious. He found Mr. Crowley, who acted quite rowdy, but couldn't rush anyone's faces.
Ah! That's so
That's
good.
got the pros down. So props to you. That's good.
Good limericks.
That's awesome.
All right, Countess Ashmore. Grant.
Delighted. Countess Ashmore, 7 mana, 6/6, legendary, neutral minion. Battle cry reads: draw a rush, lifesteal, and death rattle card from your deck. Note, we noticed this earlier today when we were discussing it because it was released today. It says card, not minion. So it can pull a weapon or a spell or anything that has those keywords on it. That's cool. That's super
Really cool.
interesting, and it gets
There's
the
not a
wheels
lot of
turning in a
spells
different
that
way.
say Death Rattle because you. Oh, well, okay. So spells don't have Death Rattle or Rush, but there are very few spells that say Lifesteal, and 2 of them are in Warlock, and 1 of them is a Spellstone.
Well, there are some
Mhm.
spells that say like trigger a friendly minion's death rattle and things like that, right? There's
That
in
doesn't
Hunter.
count. It doesn't have the tag. It just says do something that
Oh,
interacts
okay.
with the tag.
Okay,
Like Drain
Yeah, I mean-
Soul, I
That's
think, or is it
right.
Drain Life? I think it's Drain Soul.
because they were saying
2
Jaina
mana
will
spell.
not trigger this because even though she has text on her hero, the DK hero that says give elementals lifesteal and things like that, you can't just like have a word on it. It has to have the tag. So yeah,
Volkai's trying
thanks
to get
for
me to say
reminding me.
or a hero, which means that he's trying to hint at you can get Gul'dan off this, which you can't because that's in this hero power.
yeah. So that
It's not a
doesn't work.
Card text, yeah. But that's still super cool. I mean, maybe it doesn't see a ton of play initially, but as cards are released, this thing could be busted. Like it's appropriately costed for what it is. I mean, it's a 6/6 body, and 6/6 bodies are hard to get rid of. And if it gives you that much card draw like a curator did, could be good.
Yeah,
We talked earlier.
Was the taunt though. This one's power is the attack.
Yeah.
So you're trading one for the other.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's gonna necessarily like say, "Oh, I'd rather have the taunt."
This can draw that axe and warrior, Grant.
Yeah, no. I was thinking it might be more of a warrior card.
7 for a 6/6.
Hunter could be a hunter.
You can just play Bloodworm as one copy for a lifesteal card in warrior.
Yep.
I
draw
like
your
this
high
a lot.
mains out of your deck.
And here's my thing.
Kingsbane Rogue. Oh no.
That is a dragon. She
is definitely
a dragon.
Yeah. I hope maybe they have
Those
a Countess
horns
Ashmore dragon card later on.
She
look
looks like a
like
vampiric dragon,
Alexstrasza
Grant.
/ Ysera. And this is the thing, because a lot of them have the same color hair as their color. Like the blue dragons all have blue hair and stuff. Her hair is black. And the only black dragon that we know of that exists right now is Wrathion. So it's kind
She's
of
Rathion's illegitimate sister. Who knows?
yeah.
I don't know. I think
I
she's
don't
just
know.
somebody
It's-
that's a denizen of the woods, you know?
I
Yeah,
haven't
could
gotten
be.
any lore on her. I've been asking, and they've been saying like, "Wait, we'll give you some." So we're gonna get something about her. To
I
kind
wonder
of
if she's a
round
boss
out
in the
who
Witch
she
Hunt.
is.
Or whatever it's called.
Ooh,
She could be.
good
You
call, Rob. She
That's
could
something.
be.
Okay,
She takes
so
a
can we
dragon
take-
form in the. Oh, that'd be sweet.
Can we take like
That
5
was
minutes on
so
this
sweet.
real quick?
Yeah.
Talk
Please.
about that. So we haven't really discussed a whole lot of this, but like, guys, we're getting a different dungeon run. I don't know, like
Mhm.
we've mentioned that in the past. Like, it's not something we haven't covered. We definitely covered it, but they're getting Monster Hunt.
Monster Hunt. Oh, like,
That's the
That's
thing. You
the-
basically have
that's the new
4 unique
PvE
heroes that you can
thing.
play as.
and we've seen a couple of them.
Yeah,
Like Tess
the
is going to
warrior-
be one of the heroes.
Yeah. Tess is one of the heroes. The hunter hero.
The Huntsmaster.
Houndmaster is the
guy?
hunter. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. So
The-
there's
the-
4
with
of
the
them. And
dogs. I can't remember his
I
name.
think Toki, the mage card that we talked about today, she's another one. She's the tinkerer.
Is she?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's the engineer or the tinker or whatever it's called. There's like 4
Yeah.
different things. This, I will say this too. The Monster Hunt and what was the other one? The Dungeon Run. Both of these are really
Yeah.
similar to like not just like your dungeon crawlers, but they're really similar to like D&D levels of dungeon stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like classes and systems and how they set it up. And I only say that because I've been watching a lot of D&D on Critical Role recently, and it's very cool. Matt Mercer, like I said last week, I've been watching a ton of it. I've been talking with some people in our community so that I can even try playing it because I've not really done it before, but it sounds really interesting. But that's just the 5-minute side note I wanted to take real quick, because that sounds really cool.
People have called it a roguelike too.
A
That's something
roguelike,
else has
yeah,
been
that's
compared
it.
to, because you like when you die, it's over and you have to start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the idea of having these characters with these kind of personalities, and then their decks are also the flavor of their personalities, and using them to go up against bosses. That's really cool.
Yeah, the Monster Hunt
So
lets
I'm
us
in-
explore the lore of Witchwood too, which I really like that about the Dungeon Run too. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Okay, next card is a mage card we're not really going to talk about, but we can maybe mention one sentence, and I'm going to give that sentence to Grant if he has one. For Book of Specters, 2 mana, epic spell for mage. Draw 3 cards, but discard any spells that you draw.
It's kind of like a, I want to say a variant on like Arcane Intellect, you know, except that was 3 mana, draw 2 cards, just period.
Oops.
That's tough because so many mage decks really are so spell heavy. Maybe you want to thin your deck. Maybe you want to get down to like a card. Maybe you need an Alexstrasza and you just need it and you just want to thin it out and hopefully draw it. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I could see some application to it. I don't know why I would want to shorthand my deck with so few spells and just run a minion heavy deck, but maybe that's the thing. That could be a thing for mage. That would be something very, very, very different for mage. But elemental decks could be a thing. It's a thing that I think we were then talking about for a while, running a mage elemental deck, and maybe this is really good in that. So who knows?
I just don't understand it, because all of Mage's spells are really good, and if they're in your deck, they're really good. So I absolutely don't understand this card at all.
Late
Run-
game, you need
run
refill
Gen.
and you want to have minions.
You can run Gen. even cost mage, and then you can just always have your hero power for 1. You just run a little bit of spells, but that's just an option. I know that they don't even have an even cost card. They have Black Cat for odd, right? So
yeah.
All right,
So who
let's
knows?
go on. Mossy Horror, Battle Cry. Oh, sorry. 6 mana, epic neutral minion. 2 attack, 7 health. Not off to a great start there, pal. Battle Cry, destroy all other minions with 2 or less attack.
Deal.
Shadowward Horror on a stick.
On a good
Thanks.
stick that's hard to get rid of.
I'm gonna pass on this card actually.
Blah.
I think it might be okay. I know it sounds crazy, but I think because you're willing to pay 4 for nothing, and it's
It's good.
very
I just
much
don't like its effect because it's going to kill
very
my
much
board.
an anti-paladin card, and there's a lot of cards out that make me think that they're trying to put a little bit of a nerf to Call to Arms by putting cards like this out. You know what I mean?
It's already too late by this point, though, in my opinion.
It could be too late by this point. It depends. It depends on when they draw
I
it.
don't think so. I think they definitely this
I
is when
mean-
Paladin's refilling their board for the 3rd time and trying to get back on,
Or
and
may-
you're like, nope, dead.
So,
Or maybe you just want to get rid of it to clear that Doomsayer that the Freeze Mage just dropped, or whatever.
Okay,
it could be.
Nice.
I get it, but
That's a good call.
I had 2 copies in my priest deck of Shadowward Horror in Golden that I sat on for months.
We all did.
until we saw a card called Pint Size Potion. And then we started seeing it flood. Other than that, it was like a very, very contingent tech card, and it's 4 mana. Now, granted, you're getting a body, and you're paying 2 more mana for a body to do the same thing, and anybody can have it, not just priest. So those things.
This goes
might
right
push
into
it over.
Void Ripper. This goes right into Void Ripper decks. Boom.
Void
I
Ripper.
want something
Void
to
Ripper
kill
Buttness,
Spreading
yes.
Plague. Mad
Yeah.
Gamer, I do want to kill
So,
Spreading Plague.
Some people are like Spreading
hate
Plague
Spreading
or the response when you kill all the Void Daddies. This kills the Void Babies. So that's the other
That's
option.
also good.
So I mean, there's some other applications, and I think that's what a lot of people are. But again, I'm not here to agree. I'm here to share my opinion, and I'm not really into the card. So
I have an
Suck
opinion.
it.
It looks like Sully from Monsters Inc.
yeah, it does look like
That's-
Sully.
Yeah, I was
And
laughing at that aspect.
I will
of
tell you
today.
this will definitely Sully your 2 mana cards. So
Boop. There you go. What
a lot of-
wordplay,
Or your
sir?
two attack cards, not 2 mana cards. But next card, Splinting Fester Root. Eve, do you want to talk about this
Splitting.
one?
8 mana, 4/4 epic neutral minion, Death Rattle, summon 2/2/2 splitting saplings, and the splitting saplings have a Death Rattle, which is summon 2/1/1 wood chips.
Fun fact, those are 3 mana 2/2s.
It's a fractal card.
So
It
Splitting
says
Saplings
2
are
mana
3 mana
2/2s.
2/2s.
Oh, then it's written wrong in our show notes.
It's written wrong in the show notes. I apologize, but that's
Okay.
why I was correcting it. And then the wood chips
So-
are 1 mana 1/1s. And I have
But it
them on the
summons
screen.
them. Like, you only have to worry about that if somebody puts them back in your hand, like a rogue vanishes them. But yeah, so splits into 2, and then those 2 split into 2. This is kind of really cool mechanic. It's like double death
Very
rattle.
unique.
Grant, what do
Even
you
if
think
you
about
remove
this?
one, they'll just become more.
At first, when I first read it, I was like, "Oh, it only splits into 2." And then I read further. And I was like, I mean, I'm talking earlier today when it came out,
Yeah.
and I thought, there's something about like not cards not dying easily that gives potential to things. You know what I mean? Like I think
Zoo loves that.
Zoo loves that. The only trouble with it is 8 mana. So like, okay, in a later game Druid deck, what how can we really exploit that the cards won't die? You know what I mean? Maybe there's some buffs coming down the corner. Maybe Savage Roar likes this card. Who knows?
Can play
Some
dead this
extra.
card with Hunter.
Well, there's
Maybe.
a lot of buff mechanics in Druid, which is
It's
why I
neutral,
actually
yeah.
thought there was a Druid card to begin with. But it's 8 mana.
8 mana makes it.
4/4.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
Unless you
here's-
can cheat this
here's what
out
I wanted
somehow.
to tell you about though is the level of inevitability for a card that just never goes away is what we were talking about with Void Lord when we
Mhm.
first started talking about it. So you have to remember, even though it doesn't have taunt, and taunt was a really big key piece of Void Lord, this card like just doesn't go away. You know what I mean? And like triggering its death rattle without killing it cubing this card makes it real annoying. You can do all kinds of nutty stuff with this thing. And the other side of this is, like, let's say you can do this. This basically just gives Paladin, like, permanent buff targets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you Spike Ridge Steed on one of the little boys that comes out. You can do that. You can do Dino Size.
It's 8.
It doesn't
8
matter.
mana is too much for
It
Paladin.
doesn't go away.
You might be able to fit it in a different deck, but 8 mana is too much. But,
It's a
as
different
Mad
kind
Gamer
of
said,
Paladin.
imagine if you draw this from Dollmaster Dorian. So you
Oh,
get a
gosh.
1/1 copy of this, and then it
Yeah.
dies immediately. You get
You have to
draw it,
2/2/2s,
though. That's
and
the
they
thing.
die, and you get...
Hey, what's
So-
that card that randomly summons an 8-mana card? What's that card that from the last set?
Recruit?
No,
Is
it's
there a
the-
recruit?
It recruits it. Yeah, it's a 3 for 8.
Guild
What is that
Recruiter, it's a
card?
5-mana 2/4, I thought, right?
Yeah, and it recruits an 8-mana minion, right?
Let me see if that's the card. Guild
You might be right.
Recruiter. 5 mana. Oh, no, it's a 4 or less. 5
What
mana
does
card
Oakheart do? Does he do 2, 3, 4, or 1,
1,
2,
2,
3?
3.
Okay, I couldn't
Yeah,
remember.
so 4 wouldn't work with this.
Mhm. It has potential. It really does. I think
You got to
it's-
look for
it's
cards
super
to cheat
interesting.
this. If you can look for
Yeah.
anything to cheat this card is insanely scary. And
Yep.
this card in Arena is
Free from Amber.
disgusting. Free from Amber, you're
Free
still
from
paying
Amber.
8 for it.
Yeah. so
Yeah,
it's-
but not
it's
if you
noted.
cheated out with Spiteful Summoner.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a thing.
But that's
Cool,
the other
move on.
thing too, is if you're running like Dino Size with Spike.
Oh, Silver Vanguard. What is Silver Vanguard? That's
It's
the thing
an
you're
8
thinking
mana
about, I
card.
think.
That's the one I'm talking about. Silver
Yeah.
Vanguard, yeah.
Silver Vanguard is an 7 mana, 3/3, Death Rattle Recruit, and 8 mana. So it's the same
Mhm.
scenario of playing Fester
That's
Root for
not
8
much.
mana. You're getting a 3/3
One
for
less
7 to get
mana.
another card out of it. So Silver Hand Vanguard and Splitting Fester Root are just like these cycle cards. But like they said in the chat, if you play Dollmaster Dorian and you start drawing some of your big boys and big girls and
Never
big trees,
intending to play them from your hand, just having to bring them out with Tallmaster Dorian.
that forest gets scary really quick. Okay,
Mhm.
next card.
I think it's my turn, right?
Go ahead.
Oh, Fester Root Hulk. 5 mana, 2/7 rare warrior minion. After a friendly minion attacks, gain +1 attack. So this is like a really interesting version of a Frothing Berserker.
Yeah.
And I actually think this card is good. Okay, you put this out just imagine this card in like a pirate warrior, okay? Pirate warrior is still a thing, right? It's still around. And you coin it out on turn 4 after you put your berserker down or after you have a couple minions down. You can put your opponent in a position where they have to pick and they know they can't leave a 2/7 body on the board, but they don't know what to do. So I mean,
There's-
5 is really early for that kind of health, and I think there's some real potential here, you know.
There is a very
I think 5 is
very
pretty
good
cheap for what
chance.
it could become.
There's
That's
also
what
a
I'm
very
saying.
good chance that playing this with rush cards that cost 1 are really
Yep.
good. And also,
Mhm.
there's a good chance that you're going to have minions on the board when you play this, like 1 or 2. So a lot of times this card's just going to be a 4/7 or a 3/7 instead of like what you're seeing on the card. And the other thing that's super cool about this is the synergies with the warrior rush minion that like attacks and then gains health and attacks and kills something and gains health and attack. Not is it Darius Crowley? Is that right? Or
Yep, that's
yeah,
Darius
Crowley. Yeah, Darius.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. We got a lot of cards
Tess
left.
Greymane!
This card is so cool.
Am I going to talk
Okay,
about
so
this one?
here's the thing about Tess. This is not what she looks like in game. In game, she's like a pretty princess. She doesn't do much in the first opening part of the Worgen cinematic at all. She's just like the daughter of Gan Greymane. But in this, she looks completely badass.
She looks like Vala from
She
Diablo.
looked like Sonya's sister.
That's right, she does. She does look like Vala from Diablo. I didn't think of that.
Ooh, yeah.
For
Demon
those of you
Hunter.
that like League of Legends, she does look like
She have a crossbow on
Vane
her?
from League of Legends.
Yeah, that's
too.
a crossbow, isn't it?
It's a
On her
wrist
hand?
crossbow. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read
Man.
it. Ready?
Well, it's a rogue legendary, so I'm gonna probably have it anyways.
Okay, 8 mana, legendary, Tess Greymane, 6 attack, 6 health, replay or battle cry. Replay every card from another class you've played this game. Targets chosen randomly. Key note: replay every card, minions, weapons, spells, secrets.
That's insane. That is insane.
And replay, we have absolute confirmation from Mike Dene. This means when you're replaying quote-unquote minions will be like a resummon as if N'Zoth. So they will not trigger battle cries. This is not something I'm claiming that might happen. This is something that will happen. Because this is what Mike Dene said on Twitter, and there is a link in the show notes on the Reddit thread.
Want to play this card so bad. Oh.
This
That looks
is
so cool.
the Yogg-Saron that we didn't deserve, but the Yogg-Saron that we needed. So- Sorry,
yes.
I had to do the Batman meme.
I like it. That's
yeah,
good. That's
so
good.
the other thing that he said is she will work like pre-nerf Yogg. If her battle cry accidentally kills herself, it will continue going until you're done casting all of the cards.
And it goes in
I
order.
love this
In
card.
order of played, correct?
No, random. Completely random.
Oh, so
They
the
don't want you to
order
be
is
able to
random?
plan. The order of the things that she casts are all random. It won't be in the order of I mean,
Okay.
if you only played one card, you'll only get one card. But yeah, the order that she casts them will be random.
I wonder what this card will be like in Wild, because you're gonna get all the burgle effects and stuff like that, and the
Yeah.
oh, so good. Tasty.
Let's talk about this with the next
All right.
card that goes with it, the Blink Fox. Grant?
The Blink Fox is a 3-mana, 3/3 common neutral minion. It's a beast. Battle cry, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. Deal. I mean, that's pretty good.
3/3/3.
The
A
vanilla
3/3.
test.
So you get
3/3/3.
you get a neutral beast, normal vanilla body, but you do get a bonus card, so it makes it worth it. So I mean, I think it's good. I don't know that there's much else to say about this particular card.
If you're wondering
It
why
just
we think
works
this
along
is
with
going to
Tess,
work,
right?
It just works along. Yeah, it just works along with it.
if you're wondering why we think this card's going to,
Looks
see
like
a
a
lot of
Pokemon.
play, is it's inverted Undercity Huckster for 1 mana, 1 attack more, 1 health more,
Mhm.
and you get it
Mhm.
immediately. So this
That's
is
true.
like Swashbuckler more than it is Huckster, and you played both of those cards a lot in Rogue.
If you were in the Wild and you played Swashbuckler, Huckster, this, you'd be totally fine.
Yeah.
In like in a Miracle Rogue or some kind of rogue like that, yeah, this totally works. Shaku, yeah. To cheat
right.
Shaku.
I will say something about Tess. The reason that she is a rogue legendary is because she became a member of the rogue class hall, the Uncrowned in Legion. So she was kind of like in the background, not really doing anything. People didn't know where she disappeared to after Gilneas, and that's where she showed up. So she's actually like a secret member of a secret society there. She dresses up as a princess and is like the face of Gilneas in her life, but then in the shadows, she's one of the rogue class hall characters.
Okay, you guys ready to talk about the final card?
Oh, PogChamp. Let's do it.
Archmage Arugal. Legendary. 2 mana, 2 attack, 2 health, mage minion. Whenever you draw a minion, add a copy of it to your hand. Hello, mini
Battle
Chromagus.
Chromagus?
Dang it, he's only 2 cost. Holy crap.
5 mana.
He's so
sick.
cheap.
Play Archmage Arugal. Arcane Intellect. Draw 2 cards and get copies of both of them.
Only if they're minions. But this
Or
is like pushing
Book of
minion heavy
Specters.
mage.
Or Book of
Elemental.
Specters, Eve. The
Which is-
new 2 mana spell that draws
4
3
mana.
cards.
So this is why we care about
Book
specters.
of Specters. Yes.
Yeah.
Because Archmage Arugal is the king of specters. Welcome to
Okay.
Shadowfang Keep, mages. It's good to have you back.
Woo! Okay.
That's super
Minion
cool.
mage.
I like it. A new, like, off the beaten path mage.
The
Let's do
last
it.
time there was
Let's
a
do it.
minion mage, it was mech mage.
I
think
know.
Grant,
Let's do it.
I think the Black Cat is a red herring. I think we're gonna be playing some even mage with minions with a 1 mana hero power.
No, red herring is like something that takes you off the path.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes you off the path because Black Cat puts you on the path of going odd mage, right? Isn't Black Cat an odd mage card?
It's a 3-cost card if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So-
see. What you,
Okay,
I
that
see.
would
So
what
then you have
I
to
see what
upgrade your
mean.
hero power to play odd mage. But our goal on Book of Specters is like, no, if you play even mage, you don't have to play even mage. You can just play any mage. But if you want to play even mage, you can play this and Book of Specters and a bunch of minions that cost 2, and then you always have a hero power for 1 more to fill in your curve. Sign me up, dude. Sign me up.
I want to try that too. That sounds. I'm excited. Good. This is good because I haven't been excited about any particular thing yet with the car releases. Kind of been like feeling like the gaps need to be filled in, and they're starting to. The picture is coming into focus. So
The card art for this is absolutely spectacular.
Oh, it's dope. The
very
fell
cool.
magic coming out all over them. Oh yeah.
Eve, do you remember people fighting for this guy's staff?
Well,
It's the smoking chandelier that like moves around for mages.
I was a paladin, so
Oh,
staffs were of no
I was
interest
a
to me
shaman.
whatsoever.
Shamans even wanted this staff, dude. Like, I need it for my healing
No, I
set.
don't
I want
use
it.
staffs at all.
It's good.
Maces, that's what I was after,
Yeah.
and occasionally swords.
All right, guys, get hyped.
It's so cheap.
Got some cool stuff coming.
I can't believe how cheap this thing
Volkai's
is.
saying I expect to see at Janky Mage to turn full-fledged elemental spiteful mage, running lots of cheap Ellies and a ton of double spiteful, double pyro Alaneth. That's very ambitious. I don't know if that's true. I would run as little spells as possible. Maybe only 4 total spells in the entire deck, and maybe like double Pyroblast and double Book of Specters, and that would be it. And even then, if you're running Spiteful and Book of Specters, you don't want any of that business together. So, anyways, let's keep it moving. I got to close the show. We're right around that close 2-hour mark, and we're doing really well, all things considered, guys. So props to you.
Yes, we are.
The little disclaimer, as you're listening to the show, we are recording on April 6th in the US in the evening. So we just got the final card reveal on April 6th, which means there are 6 more cards coming and a live stream before the set launches. And all of that happens between now and the next show. So enjoy the new set. Open packs. I will be streaming on this channel when I open packs, so you can just follow twitch.tv/Velen's Chosen Podcast if you want to see Rob open packs and geek out like a little schoolgirl. It will be off of your normal timetable, so we'll have to check the VODs. I might even make a highlight for you guys to go check it out later if you're missing it.
Maybe you can teach me how to do it, Rob, and then I can
Yeah,
set
absolutely.
up
I'm fine with
OBS
that.
and I can open mic. I got like 150 packs to open at least. So
Oh, yeah.
It's
I'm going to be
called-
doing... I have at least 30 banked right now. I have 34
Mhm.
banked at this right now, and I can get more. So, and I will be getting more. Spoiler alert. What's that?
I said,
Cool
"Oh,
interaction. Cool interaction that Mad Gamer said. If you play Countess Ashmore, which is draw a Rush, Lifesteal, and Death Rattle card from your deck, and you
Mhm.
play it with the new mage, then it will copy if they're all minion cards.
Yep.
ooh la la."
That sounds right. That sounds right. So you got your
Dang,
tutor
that's like
card.
some really awesome value.
So you're
Holy
going to want to
smokes.
run at
Countess
least
is
a
7
death
mana,
rattle,
right?
card in your
And that's
mage.
2. So you could actually play it in the same turn. You put that down, you put Countess down, and then you get
Let's look
copies
back
of
at-
all
look-
of these
look back at
cards.
Countess
I
here.
wonder if we're looking at an arena style meta where everything is going to be minion driven for
There's
a while.
not a whole lot of rush cards outside of the neutral set for mages, so you have to keep that in mind. All the rush cards that you're going to want, you have to look at and see if mage actually wants them in that deck. That
Well,
2
even if you just get Lifesteal and Death Rattle,
there's
it doesn't have to
also
be all
equally
3.
a lot less lifesteal in the neutral set for mages too, so keep that in mind.
Pyros. Lots of Pyroses. Pyroses for days.
Pyros!
Pyros
Pyros is
doesn't
good
have
again,
lifesteal
kids.
until you play Jaina though. So
No, Death Rattle. Pyros says Death
Pyros
Rattle.
is death rattle, man.
oh snap, let's go.
Yeah, it's sweet.
All the pyros.
All the Pyros.
the pyri.
Pyri.
The pyri. All right, guys. I think we're going to close the show. If you're in the live stream, thank you so much for joining us. Please, onegaishimasu, please give us some follows on our Twitch feed. We just broke 50, which is our goal. We're around 55-ish right now. If we can stay above 50.
Flea said it was like 80 something.
No. That's our YouTube page. I'll get to that. So
okay, sorry, my bad.
on our Twitch page, we do need to have a staple static 50 followers. So let's try to push that up to 100 if possible. If you guys are listening to the show, head over to twitch.tv/Velen's Chosen Podcast. follow the stream. Helps us out a lot because we're trying to get to the affiliate programs because right now we can only stream at like 720 or 1080. Whatever I'm streaming at is what the VODs will be at, and my internet sometimes is really difficult. So I want it to be able so that we get an affiliate program. You guys can actually adjust the buffer for how the quality is if we're an affiliate on Twitch, and we'd love to do that for you. So please do that. It helps actually my workflow out a lot. So it's help us help you, right? Am I right? And then we also have a YouTube page that we just launched. If you want to watch the live stream and you're only on the podcast stream, you guys can watch us now. I'm doing the live shows. I've done a ton of work on the back end, and you can actually see us talking about the cards. I'm uploading them on the YouTube page. But we need your help again, because if you can get us from 60 to 80 like you guys did this week, we do that again. We're actually at the 100 mark. At 100 subs, and if we have 100 subs, I can get a unique URL, and you can just go to youtube.com/VelenChosenPodcast. But right now, you can't do that. So you have to go to the Twitch, and then you don't have to go to the Twitch. You can go to the website, VelensChosen.com, and find the link. Or you can go to the description of this in your podcasting app and just do it there. But Grant informed me that the link to the YouTube page, or link to the stream page, is broken this week. So I fixed that on the website. Thank you, Grant. And so you guys can find all the links you want on VelensChosen.com/links. So please go there, follow the stuff. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're
subscribe, like, comment, give stars,
all of the things that we want you to do.
Yeah.
So anyways, we got to wrap this up, guys. So we have some iTunes reviews that were pretty nice, and even though the show's long, I'd like to read them, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
I'm going to have
Can I read the first one?
You can choose what you'd
go
like,
ahead.
but Eve wants to do Red Wings review first. So let's do that, and then Grant, you can choose one of the other two from the email.
Show. Sounds like a
Okay,
plan.
so it says general strategy, 5 stars. Thank you very much. Red Wing 918 from the United States. I enjoy both listening to Velen's Chosen and interacting on their Discord channel. I was new to Discord and they were very welcoming, responsive, and informative. I accidentally created a chat storm with all my new questions about podcasts and improving, but everyone was helpful. Great job blending the current meta with general Hearthstone strategy. I particularly love the topic about knowing your playstyle based on how you like to win and how you hate to lose, irrespective of win rate or the current meta. I would love to keep hearing about how the current meta and decks ties back to understanding concepts like knowing your playstyle that differentiate ranks 20, 15, 10, 5, and Legend. This helps us with our progression so we're not just stuck at our current rank with false hope that a new deck will help us break through. Unless you're Eve playing Secret Murloc Paladin. You could hear her enthusiasm when she said, and then the second Anyfin goes down. Congratulations, Eve, on making it to Legend and rank 6 on your first try. Wow, stay positive and well played. Thank you very much, Red Wing.
Grant,
Awesome.
which one do you want? Dimwell or Bullthorn?
I'll just read the next one because it doesn't matter to me. This is from Bullthorn, from the USA, the USA. Just started listening to this podcast after hearing it mentioned on another Hearthstone podcast. So whichever show out there shouted us out, thank you very much. It says, continues on, I must say I enjoy the lore discussions each week and the special episodes. Keep up the good work. Thank
Great,
you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Short
We
and
also
sweet.
have Well Met from Dimwell of the USA in the end of March saying, I've been looking for that just right Hearthstone podcast for quite a while, and this is the one that's right for me. As someone who has never played World of Warcraft, the lore segments are really great. Thank you so much for your reviews, guys. It really means a lot. And
Yeah,
I do
thanks a
remember
bunch.
Red Wing popping into the chat. I don't remember if that's the same tag, but I do remember the chat
think so.
storm that ensued, and it was really funny. So it was a lot of fun to have him in the Discord, him or her in the Discord, I want to assume. But thanks for joining us, and thanks for giving us iTunes reviews. This is the best way to support our show is to hit the sub button in your podcasting app so we can get you as a subscriber. You can get all the updates, and then you can leave us a 5-star iTunes review. We'll read it on the show. We'll thank you publicly because you're that cool. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. It helps us a lot. We also have Patreon updates. I'm checking rapidly right now in our notifications. Bum, 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 bum. We have no new patrons this week. If you want to support us financially, you can do that on patreon.com/VelensChosen. Give us a couple bucks here and there. It helps us out each month. You can set it up as much as you'd like, and you can also get me to do the like ridiculous hat did with the with the multi-double, triple dip of getting me to do the gibberer sound if you're at the $5 level. And Grant has also volunteered his innkeeper services.
What does it would sound like if King Julian did the gibberer? What would that be like?
King Julian will not bow to your frivolous advice or requests. Fetch me the Vash. So that is King
Thank
Julian.
you, Ridiculous Hat. That was a treat for me and Grant.
Oh, goodness.
You got
It was a
Rob to say
punishment
all
as far
that.
as I'm concerned. All right.
Oh, I love it. I love
All right,
it.
bail me out, guys. Where can they find you? We got to get out of here. Eve.
You can find me on Twitter at LoreMasterEve. I'm just started streaming on Twitch at Eve Martin, and is that it? Oh, my battle tag is KAELEIGH #1919.
Grant.
Twitterverse at WatchmanHS. Battle tag Watchman #1140. I'll see about maybe doing a stream for opening packs. Maybe other stuff.
We'll talk. If you guys want to find
Rob.
me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram with the tag Not Rob. You can join my the Discord for us to talk about This Time Legend, Wild Warriors for Watchmen. You can do all that jazz. You can talk about card reveals. You can talk with Mad at Arms and I and Samurai Flea freaking out about even the worst of cards. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And don't miss the stream. Don't miss the launch day. They're both going to be great. Bro 9 for life. And
Bro
not all
9
who
for
launder
life.
are washed, apparently. So if you guys stayed
Apparently.
long, if you stayed around long enough to wash your laundry, there you go. Eve, you want to sign us off this week?
Not all who wander are lost.
I foresaw this. Did I miss it?
All right, that's going to do it for the stream, guys. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it.